October 8th, 1943. Early morning. RAF Thorpe Abbotts, Norfolk, England. My name is James Holloway, Captain 351st Bombardment Squadron, 100th Bombardment Group, 8th Air Force. Most people call me Jim. I'm 24 years old, from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I'm writing this because I need to remember what these days are like, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, before it all becomes just another set of mission reports. It's 3:30 in the morning. The Nissen hut is cold, dark except for this one candle burning on the crate I use as a desk. The corrugated steel walls sweat with condensation. I can hear Morrison snoring in his bunk across from me. Chen is mumbling something in his sleep, probably dreaming about his girl back in San Francisco. My hands are steady right now. That's good. That's important. I've flown 19 missions, 19 times over Germany in a B-17 Flying Fortress, 25,000 feet up, bombs in the belly, German fighters trying to kill us, flak bursting all around. 19 times I've come back, 6 more. Just 6 more missions and my tour is complete. 25 total. That's the magic number. 25 and you go home. 6 more missions. Then I get to marry Sarah Patterson. Sweet, beautiful Sarah who writes me letters that smell like her perfume. Who's waiting for me in Cedar Rapids. Working as a nurse, saving her money for our wedding. Who has no idea what it's really like up there. 6 more times I have to climb into that aircraft and fly into hell. The odds aren't good. Everyone knows it, but nobody says it out loud. Maybe 1 in 4 pilots who start their tour actually finish it. Maybe 1 in 3 if you're lucky and skilled and the Germans are having a bad day. I've already lost my original co-pilot. Lieutenant Danny Martinez took shrapnel in the chest over Bremen back in August. He lived 4 hours. I held his hand in the sick bay while he bled out internally. He kept asking for his mother. He was 22. We've lost 2 other crew members since then. Good men I trained with, flew with, drank with at the officers' club, men whose names are now on wooden crosses in a cemetery near Cambridge. But I can't think about that now. There's a briefing in 30 minutes. We'll find out where we're going today. Mission number 20. 4 hours from now, I'll be strapping into the pilot's seat of Memphis Belle II. She's a B-17G, 4 Wright Cyclone engines, 13 50 caliber machine guns, 10 men depending on me to bring them home alive. I should try to sleep, but I can't. Never can before a mission, so I write instead. Try to organize my thoughts, make sense of this insanity we're living through. My mother gave me this diary before I shipped out, told me to write in it, said it would help. I thought it was silly at first. What would I write about? But now I understand. Writing this down makes it real. Makes it matter. Like if I can describe it clearly enough, maybe I can understand why we're doing this. Why good men die in burning aircraft over a country most of us had never even thought about 3 years ago. The candle is burning low. I can hear boots on the path outside. Someone heading to the latrines. The base is starting to wake up. In a few hours we'll climb to altitude and point our aircraft east toward Germany. The temperature will drop to 40 below zero. The oxygen will taste metallic and cold. My heated flight suit will probably malfunction like it always does. And somewhere over the North Sea, I'll start praying that today isn't the day my luck runs out. 6 more missions. I have to make it 6 more times. Sarah is counting on me. My parents are counting on me. My kid sister Margaret, who's 16 and thinks I'm a hero. They're all counting on me to come home. I can hear the wake-up call starting in the other huts. Time to get ready. If I don't make it back today, if this is the last thing I write, I want everyone to know I tried my best. I did my duty. I loved my country, and I loved Sarah Patterson with everything I had. But I'm going to make it back. I have to. 6 more missions. October 8th, 1943, late night. RAF Thorpe Abbotts. I'm alive. Mission number 20 is complete. Bremen was the target. Ball-bearing factories and submarine pens. We took heavy flak over the city. Lost number 3 engine on the bomb run. Limped home on 3 engines with Eddie Kowalski screaming in the waist because shrapnel tore through his leg. My hands are shaking now. They always shake after we land. During the mission I'm fine, calm, focused, methodical. Every procedure memorized. Every emergency response automatic. But after we land and I climb out of that aircraft and see the holes punch through the fuselage, see the blood on the floor, hear the screaming as they load wounded into ambulances, that's when it hits me. That's when I shake. Eddie will live. The doc says he'll be fine. Lost a lot of blood, but the shrapnel missed the artery. He'll be in sick bay for a week, maybe two. Lucky. So damn lucky. We watched 3 B-17s go down from our group today. Just watched them fall out of formation. One had the whole tail section shot off by flak. It went into a flat spin, rotating slowly like a leaf falling from a tree. I counted 6 parachutes. 4 men didn't make it out. Another one caught fire. The flames spread so fast. Within seconds, the whole wing was burning. They tried to extinguish it but couldn't. The aircraft just rolled over and went down. I don't know if anyone survived that. The third one, I don't know what happened. 1 second it was there, right off our starboard wing. The next second it just exploded. Direct hit from flak, I think. Burst apart like a firecracker. Debris everywhere. No parachutes. 10 men gone in an instant. 30 men dead or missing today. From our group alone. 30 men who woke up this morning, ate powdered eggs, drank terrible coffee, climbed into their aircraft thinking they'd come back. But I came back. Eddie came back. We all came back except for 3 fresh holes in the Memphis Belle's fuselage and 1 wounded gunner. 5 more missions. I'm writing this in the officers' club. It's past midnight. Morrison and Chen and Hayes are here too, drinking whiskey, not talking much. We're the only ones left from the original crew. Everyone else is either dead, wounded, or transferred. The 4 of us and the enlisted men. That's all that's left of the original 10. The new guys don't talk to us much. The replacement co-pilot, Frank Morrison, he's good, solid, I trust him. But he wasn't there in the beginning. He doesn't know what it was like those first missions when we were all so green, so terrified, trying to pretend we knew what we were doing. Bobby Chen, our navigator, he's writing a letter to his family. His hand is so steady, I don't know how he does it. My handwriting is barely legible right now. Tom Hayes, the bombardier, he's just staring into his whiskey glass. He hasn't said a word in an hour. He was the one who pressed the bomb release today, sent our bombs down on Bremen, on factories and submarine pens, yes, but also on the city, on people, German people. Nazi or not, they're still people, still human beings who die when bombs explode. We don't talk about that, about the civilians, about the fact that strategic bombing means destroying cities, which means killing whoever happens to live there. We tell ourselves we're targeting military objectives, industrial capacity, submarine construction, but we all know the truth. When you drop 4,000 pounds of high explosives on a city, people die, not just soldiers, regular people. Is it necessary? Yes, I believe that. The Nazis have to be stopped. Hitler has to be defeated. The only way to do that is to destroy Germany's ability to make war, and that means bombing their factories and cities and infrastructure. But necessary doesn't make it easy, doesn't make it clean, doesn't let me sleep without seeing those bombs falling away from our aircraft, tumbling down toward the earth, toward people I'll never meet who are about to die. I'm rambling. The whiskey is making me philosophical. 5 more missions. Then I can go home and try to forget what I've seen, what I've done. Eddie Kowalski was talking to me right before we reached the target, joking about how he was going to take his girl dancing when he got home, how he'd saved up enough money to buy her a ring. Then the flak started, and a piece of hot metal tore through the fuselage and ripped into his thigh, and suddenly he was screaming, spraying blood everywhere. And I had to keep flying, keep the aircraft straight and level, couldn't help him, could only call for the medic over the interphone while Eddie screamed and screamed. He's alive. That's what matters. He's alive, and he'll walk again, and maybe someday he'll take his girl dancing. But I can still hear him screaming. The candle is burning low again. I should get some sleep. We might fly again tomorrow, weather permitting, always weather permitting. Sometimes I pray for bad weather, for fog so thick they can't send us up, for rain that grounds the entire Air Force. Is that cowardice, praying for bad weather so I don't have to fly? I don't think so. I think it's just exhaustion. I'm so tired, not physically, my body is fine, but something deeper. My mind, my soul, whatever you want to call it. That's exhausted. 5 more missions. I can do this 5 more times. I have to. Sarah is waiting. My family is waiting. Iowa is waiting. A normal life is waiting. All I have to do is survive 5 more missions. I'm going to bed. Morrison is already asleep at the table, his head on his arms. Chen finished his letter and left. Hayes is still staring into his glass. Tomorrow I'll write Sarah. Tell her about the weather, about the food, about anything except what it's really like. She doesn't need to know. Nobody back home needs to know. 5 more missions. Then I'm done with this war. October 9th, 1943, afternoon. RAF Thorpe Abbots, stand down today. Weather is terrible. Fog so thick you can't see 20 feet, rain coming down in sheets. The whole base is socked in, no flying for anyone. I should be relieved. I am relieved. But part of me just wants to get it over with. Every day we don't fly is another day closer to winter, to worse weather, to longer missions in brutal conditions. But today we rest. Today we try to remember what it's like to be human beings instead of just pilots and gunners and bombardiers. I visited Eddie in sickbay this morning. He was sitting up, leg bandaged, color back in his face, still in pain, but the morphine helps. He tried to joke with me, said he was glad to get a break from flying for a while. But I could see it in his eyes, the relief, the guilt at feeling relieved, the knowledge that while he's recovering, the rest of us are still going up. There were 18 other men in that sick bay, all wounded, all recovering from various missions, various wounds, flak, bullets, frostbite, oxygen deprivation. The cost of strategic bombing written on their bodies. I spent the afternoon writing letters, one to Sarah telling her about the English countryside, about the local pub in Dis, about how Morrison tried to ride a bicycle yesterday and crashed into a fence, made her laugh if she ever reads it, didn't tell her about Bremen, didn't tell her about Eddie screaming, didn't tell her about the 3 aircraft going down. I also wrote to my parents, told them I'm doing well, told them the food isn't great but better than expected, told them I'm staying safe, being careful, following procedures. All the things parents need to hear even if they're not entirely true. And I wrote to Margaret, my kid sister. She writes me these wonderful innocent letters about high school and her friends and the football games she goes to. Like the war is happening on another planet. Which I suppose, for her, it is. Iowa is a world away from this muddy air base in England, from the flak and the fighters and the dying. I told her I'm proud of her, that she should focus on her studies, that when I get home, I'll teach her how to drive Dad's car. Small things, normal things, the kind of life I'm fighting to get back to. Mail call this afternoon brought 2 letters for me, one from Sarah, dated 3 weeks ago. The mail is slow. She's working double shifts at the hospital. They're short-staffed because so many nurses volunteered for overseas duty. She's tired but determined. She mentions the wedding, says she's saving money, talks about maybe having the ceremony at the Presbyterian church where her parents got married. Reading her letters makes my chest ache. I want to be there with her so badly it's physical pain. Want to hold her hand, kiss her, tell her everything will be okay. Want to plan our future in person instead of through letters that take 3 weeks to cross the ocean. The second letter was from my mother. She's worried, of course. Trying not to show it, but I can read between the lines. She mentions praying for me every night. Mentions the list of casualties published in the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Mentions how many boys from Iowa have died in this war. She enclosed a Bible verse. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. I'm not sure my soul can be restored after this war, but it's a comforting thought. The officers' club is crowded tonight. Everyone drinking, trying to forget, trying to relax before the next mission. There's a poker game in the corner. Someone has a radio playing Glenn Miller. Moonlight Serenade. Sarah and I danced to that song once, at a USO dance before I shipped out. I'm not drinking tonight. I drank too much last night. My head hurt all day. And I need to stay sharp, need to be ready. The weather might clear tomorrow and we'll be flying again. Morrison is teaching some of the new replacement pilots how to play poker. He's good at it, takes their money with a smile. But he's also teaching them things. Little tricks, little procedures that might save their lives. How to feather an engine properly. How to maintain formation in flak. How to tell when a fighter is actually attacking versus just passing by. The new pilots are so young. They all look like children. Fresh faces, bright eyes, full of confidence and courage. They don't know yet. Don't know what it's really like. Don't know how quickly that confidence turns to terror the first time you see a B-17 explode right next to you. I was like that once. Seems like a lifetime ago, but it's only been a year since I climbed into a B-17 for my first combat mission. I was terrified then too, but in a different way. It was abstract fear, fear of the unknown. Now it's concrete, specific. I know exactly what can kill me. I've seen it happen. I know what burning fuel smells like, what a man looks like when flak tears him apart, what the sound is when an engine dies. Knowledge doesn't make you braver, it just makes you more afraid in specific ways. Bobby Chen is playing chess with one of the British RAF officers who's on the base for some reason. Bobby is winning. He's good at chess, methodical, patient, thinks 3 moves ahead. That's why he's such a good navigator, always planning the route, calculating wind drift, accounting for cloud cover and flak patterns. Tom Hayes is at the bar, drinking steadily. He does that more now. Started after the Munster raid back in August. That was a bad one. We lost 9 aircraft from our group. 90 men. Tom hasn't been the same since. None of us have. I should talk to him, but what would I say? We're all struggling. We're all barely holding it together. Talking about it just makes it worse. There's a rumor going around that they're planning a big mission. Really big. Deep penetration into Germany. Maybe Schweinfurt again. The ball-bearing factories. Last time we went there, we lost 6 aircraft. The flak was unbelievable, and that was with P-47 escort part of the way. The problem is, the escorts can only come so far. They don't have the range. Once we cross into Germany proper, we're on our own. Just the bombers and their defensive guns against however many Luftwaffe fighters they can scramble. And the Germans have gotten very good at attacking bomber formations. They come in from the front now, head-on attacks, because the B-17 doesn't have as much forward armament. The pilots are good, experienced. They know exactly how to break up our formations, isolate damaged aircraft, pick us off one by one. I don't want to think about it. Not today. Today is a stand-down day. Today I'm safe on the ground in England, drinking coffee, writing letters, trying to remember what normal life feels like. But I can't stop thinking about it. About the next mission, about the 5 more times I have to do this. 5 more times climbing to 25,000 feet where the temperature is 50 below zero and the air is so thin you need oxygen just to stay conscious. 5 more times flying into flak fields that can tear an aircraft apart in seconds. 5 more times praying that German fighters don't single out my aircraft. 5 more times. It sounds impossible when I think about it too much. So I try not to think about it. Try to focus on right now, this moment. This safe, boring, mundane moment where nobody is shooting at me and I'm not responsible for keeping 9 other men alive. The rain is still coming down outside. I can hear it drumming on the Nissen hut's roof, steady, rhythmic, peaceful. Such a contrast to the sound of flak bursting. Flak makes this crumping sound, like someone hitting a metal drum with a sledgehammer, and you feel it as much as hear it. The aircraft jumps and shudders when flak bursts close. I'm rambling again. Getting philosophical. That's what happens on stand-down days. Too much time to think. Margaret wrote that she's applied to college. University of Iowa, same place I went for 2 years before the war. She wants to study nursing, like Sarah. Maybe they'll work together someday. That's a nice thought. My sister and my wife, both nurses, both helping people, both living normal, safe, good lives while I'm just a memory from the war. Captain James Holloway, who flew B-17s over Germany and came home and married the girl he loved and lived happily ever after. That's the dream anyway. That's what I'm fighting for. The chance to have that dream. The chance for everyone to have that dream. A world where people aren't divided into those who bomb cities and those who live in cities being bombed. A world where young men don't climb into aircraft knowing there's a 25% chance they'll die before their tour is complete. A world at peace. That's worth fighting for. Worth dying for if necessary. I believe that. I have to believe that, or else what's the point of any of this? It's getting late. The club is thinning out. Morrison and Chen left a while ago. Hayes is still at the bar, but he's barely conscious at this point. I should make sure he gets back to his bunk, okay? Tomorrow might be a flying day. Weather might clear. Mission number 21 might be waiting. 4 more after that. 4 more chances to die. 4 more chances to come home. I'm going to end this entry and get some sleep. Try to sleep anyway. The nightmares have been bad lately. Dreams about falling, about fire, about watching my crew die while I'm helpless to save them. But that's better than lying awake staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything that can go wrong on the next mission. 5 more missions. Then I'm done. Then I get to go home to Sarah, to my family, to Iowa, to a life where the sky doesn't try to kill me every time I go up in it. 5 more missions. I can do this. I have to do this. October 10th, 1943, 0330 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots. Briefing in 20 minutes. Can't sleep. Didn't even try. Just lay in my bunk, staring at the ceiling, listening to Morrison snore, waiting for the wake-up call that I knew was coming. The weather cleared overnight. Perfect bombing weather. That's what they'll say in the briefing. Perfect conditions for sending 300 B-17s deep into Germany to drop bombs on industrial targets while German fighters try to shoot us down. Perfect. My stomach is in knots. It's always like this before a mission, but today feels worse. Maybe it's just accumulated dread. Mission 21 out of 25. Getting close to the end, close enough that I can almost taste freedom. Which makes the fear worse, because now I have something concrete to lose. I can hear activity outside. Boots on the path, truck engine starting, the base coming alive in the pre-dawn darkness. In 3 hours we'll be over the North Sea heading east. In 4 hours we'll be over Germany. My hands are steady right now. I check them every few minutes. Hold them out, watch them. Steady, that's good. They'll shake later, after we land. But during the mission they'll be fine. My body knows the drill. Trained responses override fear. That's what all the training was for. To make the actions automatic, so when the fear comes, when the bullets and flak start flying, you keep functioning. I've packed my mother's Bible in my flight jacket. Small, leather-bound, fits in the inside pocket. She gave it to me when I enlisted, said it would protect me. I don't know if I believe that, but I carry it anyway. Every mission. It's become part of my ritual, just like checking my aircraft 3 times, just like touching the nose of Memphis Belle II for luck before climbing aboard. Superstition, that's all it is. Magical thinking. The Bible doesn't stop flak. Touching the aircraft doesn't make the engines run better. But we all have our rituals, our little ceremonies that make us feel like we have some control over our survival. Morrison has a photograph of his girlfriend that he kisses before every mission. Chen carries a jade pendant his grandmother gave him. Hayes wears the same pair of socks every flight. He hasn't washed them in 3 months. Says they're his lucky socks. The socks don't help. But if Hayes thinks they help, if that gives him confidence, then maybe they do help in a way. I need to stop writing and get ready. The briefing will reveal our target. Deep into Germany. That's all we know. That's all the rumors have said. Deep penetration, maximum range. Expect heavy opposition. 4 more missions after this one. Just 4 more times, then I'm done. But first, I have to survive today. October 10th, 1943. Late night. RAF Thorpe Abbots. This is a bad one. This entry, this whole thing. I don't even know how to write about what happened today. My hand keeps shaking. The paper is getting wet from where my palms are sweating. Mission 21. Münster. The briefing this morning. When the intelligence officer pulled back the curtain and showed us the map with the red line stretching deep into Germany, all the way to Münster, the whole room went silent. Someone behind me whispered, "Jesus Christ." Someone else started praying out loud. Münster. Industrial targets. Railroad marshalling yards. Expected opposition, severe. Expected losses, high. Fighter escort will accompany us to the German border, then turn back. After that, we're on our own. The chaplain's prayer before we left felt like last rites. The mission itself. I'll try to describe it. I have to describe it. Have to get it down on paper while it's still fresh, before my mind starts trying to protect me by forgetting the details. Assembly over England went fine. 300 plus B-17s forming up into combat boxes. Our group, the 100th, took its position in the formation. Memphis Belle II was flying in the low squadron. Not a good position. Purple Heart Corner, they call it. Most vulnerable to fighters. We crossed the North Sea. Weather was clear. Could see for miles. The P-47s met us on schedule. little friends. That's what we call our fighter escorts. Beautiful silver aircraft dancing around the formation, weaving back and forth looking for German fighters. But the P-47s can only go so far. They don't have the range for deep penetration missions. At the German border, they waggled their wings and turned back, and we kept going. 300 B-17s alone heading deeper into Germany. The German fighters hit us 30 minutes later. I've been in fighter attacks before. 19 previous missions. Seen Focke-Wulf 190s and Messerschmitt 109s make passes at our formation. But nothing like this. Nothing even close. They came in waves, dozens of them. Maybe 100. Attacking from every angle. Head-on attacks from 12 o'clock high. Side attacks raking the formation with cannon fire. They were coordinated, professional, deadly. The first aircraft from our group went down within 5 minutes. Rosie's Revenge. Lieutenant David Sullivan's aircraft. My best friend Davy. We went through flight training together. Shipped to England together. Been flying in the same group for 8 months. I watched his aircraft take a direct hit. A Focke-Wulf came straight at him, head on, closing at over 400 miles per hour. I saw the muzzle flashes from its guns, saw the cannon shells tear into Rosie's Revenge's nose section. The plexiglass shattered. The number 2 engine exploded. The entire aircraft seemed to stagger in the air, then it just fell. Nose dropped, went into a dive. I counted the parachutes. 1, 2, 3. 3 parachutes out of a 10-man crew. Davy Sullivan, dead or captured. Probably dead. The odds of surviving a head-on attack like that, the nose section would have been shredded. The pilot and co-pilot don't have much protection up there. Just plexiglass and thin aluminum. Gone. My best friend. Gone in seconds. But I couldn't think about it. Couldn't process it. Because the fighters were still coming and I had my own aircraft to fly, my own crew to keep alive. We took multiple hits, 20mm cannon rounds punching through our fuselage. One engine started smoking. Number 3. I feathered it, shut it down before it caught fire. We kept flying on 3 engines. The flak over Münster was the worst I've ever seen. They knew we were coming. Had time to position their anti-aircraft batteries. The sky turned black with bursts, thousands of them. The aircraft was jumping and shuddering from near misses, pieces of shrapnel tearing through the thin aluminum skin, and then Mickey died. Sergeant Mickey Brennan, ball turret gunner. 20 years old, from Boston. Always smiling, always cracking jokes. He had a picture of his girl taped to the inside of the turret. Used to kiss it before every mission. A Focke-Wulf made a pass underneath us, raked the belly of our aircraft with cannon fire. I heard it on the interphone. The guns firing, then silence, then someone screaming, "Ball turrets hit! Ball turrets hit!" After we dropped our bombs and turned for home, after we cleared the flak, Joe Martinez, our flight engineer, climbed down to check on Mickey. He came back on the interphone. His voice was shaking. Said Mickey was dead. Said a 20mm round had. I can't write the details. Can't put that image in my head. Martinez said it was instant. That Mickey didn't suffer. I don't know if that's true or if he was just trying to make us all feel better. But Mickey Brennan is dead. 20 years old. We'll never see his girl again. We'll never go home to Boston. We'll never have the life he was supposed to have. We limped home on 3 engines. Lost the hydraulics. Landing was rough. But we made it. Brought everyone else back alive. Everyone except Mickey, whose body was still in the ball turret, wedged in there, couldn't get him out until we landed. The group lost 12 aircraft today, 12 out of 13 that we sent up, 120 men, dead or captured or missing, in one mission, one single mission. The debriefing was, I don't even remember it. Someone asked questions, I answered, described what I saw, what happened, in a flat monotone like I was reading from a manual. Tom Hayes was crying. Bobby Chen just stared at the wall. Morrison had blood on his face from a small cut from flying glass, but he didn't seem to notice. Colonel Harding, our group commander, he looked like he'd aged 10 years. His hands were shaking. His voice kept breaking. He tried to tell us we'd done well, that the mission was a success, that we'd hit the target. But nobody cared. 120 men gone. For what? To destroy some railroad yards? I went to Mickey's bunk after debriefing. Someone has to pack up his belongings, send them home to his family. That's the protocol. The captain does it. The pilot, that's my job. His things were so normal. A few changes of clothes, letters from home, the photograph of his girl, Rita. Her name was Rita. She doesn't know yet that Mickey's dead. Probably won't find out for days. Maybe weeks. Just a telegram. We regret to inform you. I have to write a letter to Mickey's mother. Tell her what a good man he was. How brave. How professional. How he died serving his country. All the things you're supposed to say, but how do I tell her the truth? That her son died in a metal sphere underneath a bomber, killed by a German cannon shell, thousands of feet above a country he'd never been to before this war. How do I tell her it was instant? That he didn't suffer? When I don't even know if that's true. There's a new ball turret gunner arriving tomorrow. Replacement. Kid named Billy Harper. 19 years old. Fresh from training. He's going to take Mickey's place. I resent him already. Resent him for not being Mickey. Resent him for being alive when Mickey's dead. I know that's not fair. The kid hasn't done anything wrong. But I resent him anyway. Davy Sullivan and Mickey Brennan, both dead in the same mission. Two good men, two friends, gone. And I'm still here, still alive. Why? What makes me so special? Why do I get to keep living while better men die? I don't have an answer. There is no answer. It's just random. Luck. Chance. The bullet that hits you versus the one that misses by an inch. 4 more missions. I have to do this 4 more times. 4 more times risking what happened today. 4 more times watching friends die. I don't know if I can. I really don't know. The fear is different now. Before today it was manageable. Containable. Something I could push down and ignore while I focused on flying. Now it's overwhelming. Crushing. Every time I close my eyes I see Rosie's revenge going down. I see those 3 parachutes. I think about Davy and whether he's dead or captured or maybe, just maybe, somehow alive. And I see Mickey's photograph taped inside the ball turret. Rita from Boston. Who doesn't know yet that the man she loves is dead? The officers' club is quiet tonight. Everyone's drinking but nobody's talking. What is there to say? 120 men. 12 aircraft. The worst single-day loss our group has ever taken. And tomorrow they'll send us up again. If the weather's good, if there's another target, they'll brief us and we'll climb into our aircraft and fly back into Germany and more of us will die. That's the job. That's what we signed up for. Strategic bombing, daylight precision bombing of industrial targets. The theory is that by destroying Germany's ability to produce weapons and material will cripple their war effort, force them to surrender. But the cost is unbearable. My hands won't stop shaking. I've been trying to hold the pen steady, but I can't. The words are barely legible. I should stop writing, try to sleep. But I know I won't sleep. I'll just lie there in my bunk, staring at the ceiling, seeing Rosie's revenge falling, hearing Mickey's name on the interphone. 4 more missions. How can I do this 4 more times? I have to. For Sarah. For my family. For Davy and Mickey and all the others who didn't make it. I have to finish my tour, have to go home, have to make their sacrifice mean something by surviving. But right now, sitting here in the dark, hands shaking, heart pounding, I don't know if I'm strong enough. Don't know if anyone is strong enough for this. The candle is almost gone. I need to stop writing, need to try to pull myself together. Tomorrow there might be another mission. Tomorrow I might have to do this all over again. 4 more missions. Then I'm done. Then I never have to see another B-17, never have to climb to 25,000 feet, never have to watch friends die in the sky over Germany. 4 more missions. I can do this. I have to do this. But God help me, I'm so afraid. October 11th, 1943, afternoon. RAF Thorpe Abbott's memorial service this morning for the 120 men we lost yesterday. The 120th men. Like they're just numbers now. Statistics in a casualty report. But they weren't numbers. They were men. Boys. Really. Most of them younger than me. They had names, families, girlfriends, dreams. They had futures that are gone now. The service was in the base chapel, standing room only. Everyone who wasn't on duty was there. Colonel Harding said some words about duty and sacrifice and how history would remember their courage. The chaplain read from the Bible, something about the valley of the shadow of death. I couldn't focus on the words. I kept looking at all the empty spaces, empty chairs at the briefing tables, empty bunks in the Nissen huts, empty seats in the mess hall, so many empty spaces where men used to be. They sang Amazing Grace. I tried to sing along, but my throat closed up. Couldn't make any sound come out, just stood there with my mouth open, tears running down my face, unable to sing. Morrison put his hand on my shoulder. Didn't say anything, just stood there beside me while I cried. After the service, we went back to the hut, and I packed up Mickey's things, put everything in a duffel bag to send home to his mother in Boston. I found the photograph. Rita from Boston, pretty girl, dark hair, bright smile. On the back, Mickey had written Rita, my forever girl. His handwriting was messy, enthusiastic. He'd drawn a little heart next to her name. I put the photograph in with his things. His mother will want it, will want to know her son loved someone, was loved by someone, that his life had meaning beyond dying in a ball turret over Germany. I also wrote the letter, sat down and forced myself to write to Mrs. Brennan, told her what a fine man Mickey was, how brave, how skilled, how well liked, how he died quickly in service to his country, how his sacrifice would help win this war. All the proper things, all the things you're supposed to say, but they felt hollow even as I wrote them. What comfort is it to know your son died quickly? What consolation is it that his death might help win a war? But what else can I say? That he died randomly, pointlessly, because a German pilot happened to fire a cannon at the exact moment Mickey's turret was in the wrong position? That if the timing had been different by 1 second, he'd still be alive? No, can't say that. So I wrote the proper things and sealed the letter and gave it to the chaplain to mail. Billy Harper arrived this afternoon. The replacement ball turret gunner, 19 years old, fresh face, eager eyes, saluted me like I'm some kind of hero, called me sir every other word. I wanted to tell him to go home, to find some excuse, any excuse, to get off this base and never come near a B-17. I wanted to tell him that the ball turret is a death trap, that Mickey lasted 8 missions before a cannon shell killed him, that the odds of surviving 25 missions in that position are practically zero. But I didn't say any of that. I just showed him to Mickey's old bunk, showed him where to store his gear, introduced him to the rest of the crew, Morrison, Chen, Hayes, the flight engineer Joe Martinez, with his arm in a sling from yesterday's mission, Tony Rizzo, tail gunner. The waist gunners. Everyone was polite to Billy but distant. Nobody wants to get attached to the new guy, not when the previous guy just died, not when the new guy probably won't last long either. That's what happens in combat units. You stop forming close bonds with replacements. Too painful when they die. Better to keep them at arm's length. Learn their names, be professional, but don't become friends. Don't care too much. It's cruel. But it's survival. Emotional survival. Billy doesn't understand yet. He's excited, nervous, eager to prove himself. Keeps asking questions about the aircraft, about procedures, about what combat is like. The other guys give him short answers. Nobody wants to describe what it's really like. How do you explain to a 19-year-old kid that he's going to spend his missions curled up in a tiny metal sphere underneath the aircraft, alone, isolated, rotating 360 degrees looking for enemy fighters, knowing that the ball turret is one of the most vulnerable positions, knowing that if the aircraft gets hit badly he might not be able to get out before it crashes? You don't. You let him find out for himself, just like we all did. I spent an hour this afternoon just sitting outside my hut staring at nothing. Couldn't work up the energy to do anything. Just sat there on an empty crate, smoking a cigarette I didn't even want, watching aircraft take off for training flights. Chen found me there. Sat down next to me. We didn't talk for a long time, just sat together in silence. Finally he said, "You okay, Captain?" I almost laughed. Okay? No, nothing about this is okay. But I just nodded, said, "I'm fine." He didn't believe me. I could see it in his face, but he didn't push, just sat with me for a while longer, then went back inside. I'm not fine. I don't think any of us are fine. We're all just functioning, going through the motions, pretending we're okay because that's what we have to do, Because if we admit we're not okay, if we let the fear and grief overwhelm us, we can't fly. And if we can't fly, we're useless. There's a term for it: lack of moral fiber, LMF. That's what they call it when a pilot or crew member breaks down. Can't fly anymore. Too scared, too traumatized, too broken. It's treated like cowardice, like moral failure. The guy gets grounded, sent to some do-nothing assignment, carries the stigma for the rest of his military career. So we don't break down. We keep flying. Keep pretending we're fine. Keep shoving all the fear and horror and grief down deep, where nobody can see it. But it has to come out eventually, doesn't it? All that emotion, all that trauma, it can't stay buried forever. Eventually it comes out. In nightmares, in shaking hands, in drinking too much, in suddenly bursting into tears over nothing. I had a nightmare last night. Dreamed I was drowning in burning fuel. Could feel the fire, smell it, taste it. Woke up gasping, thrashing in my bunk. Morrison heard me, asked if I was okay. I said it was just a bad dream. He nodded and went back to sleep. But it wasn't just a bad dream. It was my mind trying to process the horror of watching aircraft burn in midair, watching men die in flames. My subconscious working through trauma while I sleep. How many more nightmares before my 25 missions are up? How many more times will I wake up gasping, heart pounding, sheets soaked with sweat? 4 more missions, then I'm done. Then I can go home and deal with all of this in peace. Maybe the nightmares will stop. Maybe I'll be able to sleep again. Maybe eventually I'll forget what it was like. But I don't think I will forget. I think this war is going to stay with me forever. The images, the sounds, the fear. It's all burned into my mind. Part of me now. Permanent. The weather is still good. Clear skies, light winds, perfect bombing weather. Which means we'll probably fly tomorrow. Mission number 22. 3 more after that. I should eat something. Haven't eaten since breakfast. Not hungry, but I need to keep my strength up. Need to be ready. Billy Harper is in the mess hall sitting with some other new replacements, laughing about something. Still innocent. Still hasn't flown a combat mission. Still thinks war is adventure and glory. Give him 1 mission. 1 trip over Germany. 1 encounter with flak and fighters. He'll learn. They all learn. The ones who survive anyway. I'm being cruel. Bitter. Billy's a good kid. Not his fault he's young and inexperienced. Not his fault Mickey died and he's the replacement. He deserves better than my resentment. But I can't help it. Can't help looking at him and seeing Mickey. Can't help wondering how long Billy will last. Will he make it through 25 missions? Will he make it through 10? 5? 1? I should stop thinking like this. Should stop dwelling on death and loss and fear. Should focus on the mission, on doing my job, on bringing my crew home alive. 4 more missions. That's all. Just 4 more times. Then I'm done. Then I get my life back. Then I can start figuring out how to live with what I've seen, what I've done, who I've become. October 13th, 1943. Evening. RAF Thorpe Abbotts. 2 days of rain, 2 days grounded. Weather is miserable. Fog, rain, wind. Can't see 50 feet. All missions scrubbed. I should be relieved. 2 days without flying. 2 days safe on the ground. But instead I'm just anxious. Restless. The waiting is almost worse than the flying. When we're flying, at least it's happening. At least we're doing something. The fear has a purpose, an object. But sitting here, grounded, with nothing to do but wait and think and anticipate the next mission, it's torture. The nightmares are getting worse. Last night I dreamed Davy Sullivan was sitting at the foot of my bunk, just staring at me, not saying anything, just staring with these dead, accusing eyes, like he was asking, why did you survive and I didn't? I woke up screaming, woke up half the hut. Morrison and Chen calmed me down, gave me some water, told me it was just a dream, but the image stayed with me all day. Davy's dead eyes staring at me. Why did I survive? Why am I still alive when Davy's dead, when Mickey's dead, when 120 men from our group died 2 days ago? What makes me special? What makes me deserve to live when they don't? There's no answer. I know there's no answer. It's random, arbitrary. The shell that hits versus the one that misses. The fighter that targets your aircraft versus the one that targets someone else's. Pure chance. But knowing that doesn't help, doesn't make the guilt go away, doesn't stop me from wondering if maybe I should have done something different, flown a different route, changed altitude, anything that might have saved them. survivor's guilt. That's what the chaplain called it when I talked to him this morning. Said it's normal. Said all combat veterans experience it. Said I need to remember that their deaths weren't my fault, that I did everything I could. That sometimes people die in war and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Logically, I know he's right. But emotionally, I can't accept it. Can't accept that good men die for no reason other than bad luck. Can't accept that the universe is that random, that uncaring. I've been reading my mother's Bible, trying to find comfort in it, trying to understand God's plan. But I keep coming back to the same question. Why? Why does God let good men die in horrible ways? Why does God let wars happen? Why does evil exist if God is all-powerful and all-good? The chaplain says, these are questions theologians have been wrestling with for thousands of years. Says faith means trusting God even when we don't understand. Says we have to believe there's a greater purpose, even if we can't see it. I want to believe that. Want to believe Davy and Mickey died for a reason. That their sacrifice mattered. That someday, somehow, their deaths will have a meaning. But sitting here in this cold, damp Nissen hut, listening to the rain drum on the metal roof, I can't see it. Can't see the purpose. Can't see the plan. Just see waste. Young men dying before they've had a chance to really live. I've been avoiding alcohol. Drinking is tempting. Very tempting. Would be so easy to just pour whiskey down my throat until I'm numb, until I can't think, can't feel, can't remember. A lot of guys do that. Drink themselves unconscious every night. Wake up, fly, drink again. But I'm afraid if I start, I won't be able to stop. Afraid I'll become dependent on it. Afraid I'll lose what little control I still have. So instead I sit here, sober, dealing with the fear and grief and guilt with nothing to dull it. Maybe that's better. Maybe I need to feel it. Process it, let it hurt now so it doesn't destroy me later. Or maybe I'm just torturing myself for no reason. Lieutenant Peterson broke yesterday. James Peterson, pilot in the 351st Squadron. Good pilot, experienced, 15 missions completed, 10 more to go. He just stopped functioning, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't speak, just lay there staring at the ceiling, tears running down his face. The flight surgeon took one look at him and had him removed from flying status. LMF, lack of moral fiber. They took him away this morning, nobody knows where. Some rear echelon assignment probably. Flying a desk instead of a bomber. Safer, yes, but he'll carry that stigma forever. The pilot who couldn't handle combat, the coward. But he's not a coward. He flew 15 missions, 15 times over Germany, 15 times risking his life. He's braver than 99% of people will ever be. He just reached his breaking point. We all have a breaking point. He found his. Part of me envies him. Envies him for being done with this, for not having to fly anymore, for being safe. But part of me is terrified I'll break too. That one day I'll wake up and just not be able to do it anymore. Can't climb into that aircraft. Can't fly back into the flak and fighters. Can't risk dying one more time. What happens then? Do they label me LMF, take away my command, send me home in disgrace? 4 more missions. I just have to hold it together for 4 more missions. Then I'm done. Then it doesn't matter if I break because I'll have completed my tour. I'll go home a hero instead of a coward. 4 more missions. Can I do it? Can I make it 4 more times without breaking? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Each mission takes more out of me. Each mission leaves me more fragile, more worn down. Like I'm a piece of equipment that's been used too hard for too long. Eventually something is going to fail, but I can't think like that. Can't let the fear win. Have to stay focused, stay professional, do my job, bring my crew home. Sarah wrote me another letter. It arrived yesterday. She's planning our wedding. Says she's found a dress. Says her mother is helping arrange everything. Says all I need to do is show up. Show up. Such simple words. But they assume I'll survive. Assume I'll complete my tour. Assume I'll make it home. I want to believe that. Want to believe I'll be standing at the altar in the Presbyterian Church in Cedar Rapids waiting for Sarah to walk down the aisle. Want to believe I'll have that life. Marriage, family, peace. But I can't let myself fully believe it. Can't let myself hope too much. Because if I die, if I don't make it, that hope will make it worse. Better to stay detached. Stay numb. Don't think about the future because the future might not exist. Is that any way to live? Afraid to hope, afraid to dream, afraid to imagine surviving? But what choice do I have? This is war. This is combat. The odds are against me. More than half the pilots who start their tour don't finish it. That's just statistics. Cold, hard facts. So I keep my head down, stay focused on the present. One mission at a time. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the past. Just focus on right now. This moment. This breath. The rain is still coming down, shows no sign of stopping. Weather report says more of the same tomorrow. Probably another day grounded. Another day of waiting. Another day of nightmares and guilt and fear. Another day wondering if I'm strong enough to keep doing this. 4 more missions. Then I'm done. Then I get to find out if I can put myself back together. If I can become James Holloway from Cedar Rapids again, instead of Captain Holloway, bomber pilot, broken and traumatized, and carrying the ghosts of dead friends. 4 more missions. I can do this. I have to do this. But God, I'm so tired. So tired of being afraid. So tired of watching people die. So tired of wondering if today is the day my luck runs out. So tired. October 14th, 1943. 0300 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots. Can't sleep. Briefing in 30 minutes. Big mission today. Everyone knows it. Can feel it in the air. The tension, the dread. They woke us at 0200, 2 in the morning. That means a long mission, deep penetration into Germany, maximum range. I've been lying here in my bunk for the past hour, staring at the ceiling, trying to prepare myself mentally, trying to find the courage to do this one more time. The hut is quiet except for breathing and the occasional sound of someone shifting in their bunk. Nobody's sleeping. We're all just lying here, waiting, dreading what's coming. I can hear my heart beating, fast, hard. My mouth is dry. Hands are cold. The fear is already setting in and we haven't even been briefed yet. I know what the target is. Everyone knows. There's only one target that requires a 0200 wake up. One target that deep. One target that important. Schweinfurt. The ball-bearing factories. We went there back in August. Lost 6 aircraft from our group that day. Today will be worse. Much worse. The problem with Schweinfurt is it's so far into Germany, way beyond the range of our fighter escorts. The P-47s can come part way, but then they have to turn back. And after that, we're completely alone. Just the bombers and their defensive guns against the entire German fighter force. And the Germans will know we're coming. They always know. Their radar picks us up over the North Sea. They scramble their fighters. And by the time we reach the target, they're waiting. Hundreds of them. Focke-Wulfs and Messerschmitts. Experienced pilots who know exactly how to break up our formations and kill B-17s. I'm terrified. That's the truth. I'm absolutely terrified. More scared than I've ever been before. Because I know what's coming. Know what we're flying into. This isn't fear of the unknown. This is specific, concrete fear based on experience and knowledge. This mission is going to be bad. Really bad. We're going to lose a lot of aircraft, a lot of men, and I might be one of them. I keep thinking about Sarah, about our wedding plans, about the life we're supposed to have together. I want that life so badly. Want to grow old with her, want to have children, want to run my father's hardware store and live a quiet, boring, normal life in Iowa. But in a few hours I'm going to climb into Memphis Belle II and fly deep into Germany, and German fighters are going to try to kill me, and there's a very real possibility I won't make it back. 4 more missions, including this one. But this one might be the last. This one might be where my luck runs out. I wrote a letter to Sarah last night, a final letter. The kind you write when you think you might die. I told her I love her. Told her to move on if I don't come back. Told her to find someone else, get married, have the life she deserves. Told her not to waste her youth waiting for a dead man. I gave the letter to the chaplain. Told him to mail it only if I don't come back. He understood. He's mailed a lot of final letters over the past few months. I also wrote to my parents. Told them I love them. Told them I'm proud to be their son. Told them to take care of Margaret. Make sure she goes to college. Make sure she has a good life. Writing those letters was the hardest thing I've ever done. Harder than any mission. Because writing them made it real. Made the possibility of death concrete. Final. But it had to be done. Just in case. Just in case this is the mission where everything goes wrong. I can hear movement outside now. People heading to the latrines. Getting ready. The base is waking up. In 20 minutes, we'll all be in the briefing room. The intelligence officer will pull back the curtain and show us the map with the red line stretching all the way to Schweinfurt. And everyone will go silent because we all know what that means. Casualty rates, high losses, probably the worst mission of the war so far. But we'll go anyway. We'll climb into our aircraft and take off and form up and fly east into Germany. Because that's the job. That's what we do. We're bomber crews. We bomb targets. Even when the cost is unbearable. My hands are shaking. I'm holding them out, watching them tremble. Can't make them stop. The fear is already overwhelming and we haven't even taken off yet. I need to get control of myself, need to be strong for my crew. They're depending on me, counting on me to bring them home. I can't let them see how terrified I am. But I am terrified. God help me. I'm so afraid. I don't want to die. I want to live. Want to go home to Sarah. Want to have the life I've been dreaming about. But I might not get that. Today might be the day I die. Today might be my last day on earth. Last time I see the sunrise. Last time I breathe. Last time I think and feel and exist. And there's nothing I can do about it except pray. Pray that God will protect me, that I'll survive, that I'll make it home. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Please, God, please let me survive this mission. Please bring me home. I'm not ready to die. Not yet. Not today. Please. I need to stop writing and get ready. Time for the briefing. Time to find out officially what we already know. Time to prepare to fly the worst mission of the war. Mission 22. 3 more after this. If I survive. If any of us survive. Sarah, if you ever read this, know that I loved you. Know that you were the best thing in my life. Know that thinking about you gave me strength when I had none left. Mom, Dad, Margaret, I love you all. I'm so sorry if I don't make it home. I tried my best. I really did. God, please, please let me survive this. Please bring me home. Please. October 14th, 1943. 2100 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm writing this and I'm alive and I can barely believe it. Today was. I don't even have words for what today was. The worst day of this war. The worst day of my life. The worst day in the history of the 100th Bombardment Group. Black Thursday. That's what they're already calling it. Black Thursday. 60 B-17s lost out of 291 that were sent. 60 aircraft. 600 men. Dead or captured or missing. The 100th lost 12 aircraft out of 13. 12 out of 13. 120 men. Again. Just like Münster. Except worse. So much worse. I don't know where to start. Don't know how to describe what happened. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely write. The paper keeps blurring because my eyes won't focus properly. The briefing. Schweinfurt. Just like we knew. The intelligence officer tried to be optimistic. Said the target was vital. Said destroying the ball-bearing factories would cripple German industry. Said the mission was worth the cost. Worth the cost. 600 men. Worth it. The chaplain's prayer felt like a funeral oration. He knew, we all knew, this was going to be bad. We took off at 0600, 300 aircraft, the largest formation I've ever seen, combat boxes stretching for miles, the roar of 1,200 engines, the sight of all those aircraft forming up over England. It was almost beautiful. Almost made you believe we were invincible. We weren't invincible. The P-47s escorted us to the German border, waggled their wings and turned back, and we kept going, deeper into Germany, alone. The fighters hit us an hour later. Must have been 200 of them, maybe more. I've never seen so many enemy aircraft. They came in waves, coordinated attacks, professional, deadly. Aircraft started going down immediately. I saw Rosie's replacement, the aircraft that took Davy Sullivan's place, explode. Just disintegrated. Pieces of burning metal falling, no parachutes. Hell's Angel took a hit in the cockpit, rolled over and went down. Both pilots must have been killed instantly. Lucky Lady's engines caught fire. All 4 of them. Burning wing to wing. It flew like that for maybe 30 seconds before it broke apart. And that was just in the first 5 minutes. Just the beginning. We took hits, multiple hits, 20mm cannon rounds punching through our fuselage, shrapnel from near-miss flak. The aircraft was shaking, metal tearing, alarms going off. Morrison got hit. Piece of shell fragment caught him in the left arm, blood everywhere. But he stayed at the controls, kept flying. Tom Hayes climbed up from the bombardier position and helped him, wrapped his arm, gave him morphine. Morrison kept flying. Then we reached the target, Schweinfurt, and the flak was, I can't describe it. The sky turned completely black, thousands of bursts, tens of thousands. The aircraft was jumping and shuddering from near misses every second. You could hear the shrapnel hitting, pinging off the metal, tearing through aluminum. The bomb run lasted forever, 5 minutes straight and level. Can't maneuver, can't evade. Just fly straight through that wall of flak while German fighters make passes at you. Bobby Chen took shrapnel in the leg, cried out on the interphone but kept navigating, kept giving me headings. Professional, brave. Number 3 engine got hit, started streaming oil, black smoke pouring out. I feathered it, shut it down, kept flying on 3 engines. Then number 2 started overheating. Temperature gauge climbing. I tried to nurse it along, adjust the mixture, but it kept climbing. Bombs away! Tom Hayes on the interphone. Never been so relieved to hear those words. Bombs gone. Turn off target. Get out of here. But Jimmy Peterson never made it out. Sergeant Jimmy Peterson, right waist gunner, 21 years old, from Atlanta, always smiling. Had a girlfriend named Emily he was planning to propose to. A Focke-Wulf made a pass. 20mm cannon tore through the waist, caught Jimmy in the chest. He died instantly. Just slumped over his gun. 2 crew members dead now. Mickey from Munster, Jimmy from Today, 3 wounded. Morrison, Chen, Joe Martinez, our flight engineer, also caught some minor shrapnel, and we still had to get home. We fell out of formation, damaged, slowing down, losing altitude. 3 engines, 2 of them running rough. Hydraulics failing, alone. That's when the Focke-Wulf smelled blood. 6 of them came after us, circled like sharks, making passes, trying to finish us off. Tony Rizzo in the tail saved us. Shot down 2 of them, confirmed kills. The kid is an artist with that gun, but they kept coming. We were down to 17,000 feet, losing altitude steadily. Number 2, engine was going to quit any second. We were over 100 miles from the English coast. No way we'd make it. I prayed, out loud. Didn't care who heard. Prayed like I've never prayed before. Please, God, please, don't let us die. Not here, not now, not after coming this far. And then I heard the most beautiful sound in the world. Little friends at 2 o'clock. P-47s, 4 of them. Must have been on their way home, low on fuel, but they saw us and came to help. Engaged the Focke-Wulfs, drove them off. Those fighter pilots saved our lives. I don't know their names, don't know their unit, but they saved us. We limped on, down to 15,000 feet. Number 2 engine quit. Feathered it. Now on 2 engines. Memphis Belle II can't maintain altitude on 2 engines. Not with battle damage. Not with the weight we're carrying. Down to 12,000 feet. 10,000. 8,000. We're not going to make it to Thorpe Abbotts. Not even going to make it to the coast. Find an emergency field, I told Bobby Chen. Anywhere. First field you see. He found one. Manston. RAF base on the southeast coast. Emergency landing field for damaged bombers. But our hydraulics were gone. No brakes. No flaps. Landing was going to be rough. I brought her in as gentle as I could. Touchdown smooth. But without brakes we just kept rolling. Faster and faster. Off the end of the runway. Into the grass. Bouncing, shaking. The aircraft broke in half. Right behind the wing. Just snapped. The tail section separated. We came to a stop in a field. Everyone out, now, fuel everywhere. Fire risk. Had to evacuate immediately. We got Bobby Chen out. He couldn't walk on his wounded leg. Morrison and I carried him. Hayes was helping Martinez. The enlisted guys got themselves out, except Jimmy. Jimmy Peterson was still in there, still in the waist section, dead, but still in there. I wanted to go back for him, wanted to recover his body, but then the fire started, fuel ignited, flames spreading. Captain, we have to go. Morrison pulling me back. We ran, got about 50 yards away, when Memphis Belle II exploded. Fuel tanks went up. Fireball. Heat wave hit us, even at that distance. I watched her burn. My aircraft, my home for the past months, burning, with Jimmy Peterson still inside. We got back to Thorpe Abbotts by truck, 6 hours later. The debriefing was a nightmare. Colonel Harding looked shell-shocked. The intelligence officers looked sick. They kept asking questions, but nobody had answers. How many aircraft lost? 12 out of 13 from our group. 60 total from the entire mission. Did we hit the target? Yes. Direct hits on the ball-bearing factories. Was it worth it? Nobody asked that question. Nobody dared. The wounded got taken to sickbay. Morrison will be fine. Bobby Chen will be fine. Joe Martinez will be fine, physically anyway. Mentally, emotionally, I don't know if any of us will ever be fine. 2 crew members dead, Mickey Brennan and Jimmy Peterson. Good men, both so young, both with their whole lives ahead of them, both dead over Germany, and I'm alive. I survived. Again, why? What makes me so special? I don't have an answer. There is no answer. It's just random chance. The round that hit Jimmy missed me by 5 feet. 5 feet. That's all that separated life from death. The officers' club is almost empty tonight. So few of us left. The 120th men lost from our group in 4 days. Münster and Schweinfurt. 2 missions, 240 men, gone. I can't process it. Can't wrap my mind around it. The scale of the loss. The sheer magnitude of death. And I have to do this 3 more times. 3 more missions. 3 more chances to die like Mickey and Jimmy died. I don't know if I can. I really don't know. Today broke something in me. Something fundamental. I functioned during the mission. Training took over. Adrenaline kept me going. But now that it's over, now that I'm safe on the ground, I'm falling apart. My hands won't stop shaking. I'm cold but sweating. My heart is racing. I can't catch my breath. Every time I close my eyes, I see Jimmy slumping over his gun, see Memphis Belle breaking in half, see all those aircraft falling, burning from the sky, 600 men, dead or captured or missing, in one day, one mission. Was it worth it? Did we accomplish anything that justifies that cost? I don't know. I honestly don't know. The ball-bearing factories are damaged, yes. German industry will be disrupted. But 600 men, that's 600 families who will get telegrams. 600 mothers who will cry. 600 girlfriends or wives who will have their futures stolen. Is any target worth that? But I can't think like that. Can't question the mission. Can't question whether this whole strategic bombing campaign makes sense. That way lies madness. I have to believe it's necessary. Have to believe we're doing the right thing. Because if we're not, if all this death is pointless, then what's the point of any of it? 3 more missions, then I'm done. Then I get to go home and try to forget. Try to become human again instead of this broken, traumatized thing I've become. 3 more missions. But after today, after Black Thursday, I don't know if 3 is possible. Don't know if I have 3 missions left in me. Don't know if I can climb into another B-17 and fly back into that hell. But I have to. For Mickey, for Gorshimi, Jimmy, for Davy, for all the men who died. I have to finish my tour, have to make their sacrifice mean something by surviving. 3 more missions. Please, God, help me survive 3 more missions. That's all I ask, just 3 more. Then I'm done. Then I never have to do this again. Please. I'm going to try to sleep now, even though I know the nightmares will come. Even though I know I'll see Jimmy dying, see Memphis Belle burning, see all those aircraft falling. But maybe if I'm exhausted enough, the nightmares will be brief. Maybe I'll get a few hours of rest before tomorrow, before whatever comes next. 3 more missions. I survived today. Somehow. Miraculously, I survived. But I don't feel like a survivor. I feel like a ghost. Like I died today too, and this is just my spirit going through the motions. Writing in a diary, pretending to be alive. Maybe I am dead. Maybe we're all dead and just don't know it yet. 3 more missions. Please, God. Please. October 14th, 1943. 2300 hours. Same night. I can't sleep. Tried, but I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I'm back in the aircraft. Hearing the guns, seeing Jimmy die, feeling the aircraft shake from hits. So I'm writing instead. Trying to process. Trying to understand. The scale of today's losses is still sinking in. 60 aircraft. When I write it down, it looks like just a number. 60. 2 digits. But it's not a number. It's 600 men. 600 individuals. Each with a name, a face, a family, dreams, fears, hopes. 600 futures erased in one day. Our group lost 12 aircraft. I can name them. I knew most of the pilots. Trained with some of them. Drank with them at the officers' club. Played cards with them. Laughed at their jokes. Lieutenant Michael Roberts. His aircraft went down in flames over the target. I think I saw 3 parachutes. Maybe 4. Mike was 23. From Oregon. Had a wife and a baby daughter he'd never met. Captain John Foster. Direct flak hit. The aircraft just disintegrated. No parachutes, no survivors. John was 26. Should have completed his tour 3 missions ago, but volunteered to stay on to help train replacements. Lieutenant William Crawford. I saw his aircraft fall out of a formation. Engine smoking. It made it about 10 miles before it went down. I counted 7 parachutes, maybe 8. Billy was 22. From Texas. Talked about his family's ranch, how he was going to go back and run it after the war, and on and on. 12 aircraft, 120 men. I knew many of them. Not all, but many. And now they're gone. Dead or captured. Mostly dead, probably. The Germans don't take many prisoners from crash bombers. Either you die in the crash or you die on the ground. Either from injuries or from angry civilians who've been bombed for months and see American airmen as war criminals. If you do get captured, you go to a POW camp. Stalag Luft, something. Spend the rest of the war behind barbed wire, slowly starving, slowly going mad from boredom and fear and uncertainty. Is that better than dying? I don't know. Maybe. At least you're alive. At least there's a chance of eventual liberation. But years in a POW camp, years of not knowing if you'll ever go home, years of your life stolen. Jimmy Peterson will never have that choice, will never face that decision. He's dead. 21 years old and dead. Never going to propose to Emily, never going to have children, never going to grow old. I can still see him. The moment he died, the cannon round hitting, the way he just slumped forward. No drama, no last words. Just alive 1 second, dead the next. That's what combat death is like. It's not like the movies. There are no final speeches, no dramatic last moments. You're just alive and then you're not. Mickey went the same way. 1 second manning his gun in the bull turret, the next second dead. No warning, no time to prepare, just gone. And someday that will be me. Maybe in 3 missions. Maybe tomorrow if we fly again. Maybe right now, a statistical anomaly, an aneurysm or heart attack ending me while I write this. We're all dying. Every second we're closer to death. But in combat it's accelerated, compressed. The normal span of a human life condensed into hours or minutes or seconds. You can die at any moment and there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's the horror of it, the complete powerlessness. I can be the best pilot in the world, make all the right decisions, follow every procedure perfectly, and still die because a piece of flak happens to hit in exactly the wrong place. No control, no agency, just blind chance determining who lives and who dies. And we keep flying anyway, keep climbing into those aircraft, keep going back over Germany, because that's the job, because someone has to do it. Because if we don't, the Nazis win. Is it worth it? Is defeating the Nazis worth 600 men in one day? Yes, it has to be. The alternative is unthinkable. Hitler conquering Europe. The death camps continuing. Millions more murdered. Freedom extinguished. So yes, it's worth it. Even at this cost. Even at 600 men per mission. Even if I'm one of those 600 tomorrow. It has to be worth it. Because if it's not, then what's the point of any of this? What's the point of all this death and suffering and fear? But knowing it's necessary doesn't make it easier. doesn't make the fear go away, doesn't bring Mickey and Jimmy back, doesn't heal the wounds, physical and mental, that today carved into all of us who survived. We're damaged now. All of us. The survivors. We've seen too much, lost too many friends, pushed too far past our breaking points. Lieutenant Peterson broke yesterday. Couldn't fly anymore. And after today, I understand why. There's only so much horror a human mind can process. Only so much fear and death and trauma before something snaps. How much longer before I snap? Before I'm the one lying in my bunk, unable to move, unable to function, before I'm the one labeled LMF and sent away in disgrace? 3 more missions, that's all. Just 3. Surely I can hold together for 3 more missions. But I thought I could hold together through today. Thought I was strong enough. And I did hold together, technically. I flew the mission, brought most of my crew home alive, functioned under pressure. But something broke inside me today, something fundamental. I can feel it. The cracks spreading, the fractures deepening. I'm coming apart at the seams and I don't know how to stop it. Maybe I don't have to stop it. Maybe I just have to hold together long enough to finish 3 more missions. Then I can come apart. Then I can break down completely. Then it won't matter because I'll be done with combat, done with war, done with watching people die. 3 more missions, 72 more hours of combat, maybe less. Maybe we fly again tomorrow. Another target, another mission, another chance to join Mickey and Jimmy. I should be grateful I'm alive, should be thanking God for my survival. And I am grateful. I am, but I also feel guilty. Guilty for surviving when better men died. Guilty for being afraid when I should be brave. Guilty for questioning whether this war is worth the cost. Sarah is waiting for me. My family is waiting for me. They don't know yet what happened today. Don't know about Black Thursday. Don't know how close I came to dying. The telegrams haven't been sent yet. The casualty lists haven't been published. They think I'm safe. Think I'm doing well. Think I'm coming home soon. And maybe I am. Maybe I'll survive 3 more missions. Maybe I'll complete my tour. Maybe I'll make it home to Sarah and we'll get married and have the life we planned. Or maybe I'll die tomorrow. Maybe my luck has finally run out. Maybe today was my last day and I just don't know it yet. The candle is almost gone. I've been writing for hours. My hand aches. My eyes burn. But I can't stop. Because if I stop writing, I have to try to sleep. And if I try to sleep, the nightmares come. Better to stay awake. Better to keep writing. Keep processing. Keep trying to make sense of the insensible. 600 men in one day. One mission. This war is eating us alive, consuming us. Young men fed into the machinery of war, ground up, destroyed. For what? For strategic objectives. For ball-bearing factories. For abstract concepts like freedom and democracy. Noble concepts worth fighting for. Worth dying for. I believe that. But the cost, dear God, the cost. How many more have to die before this war ends? How many more missions? How many more Black Thursdays? I don't have answers. Nobody does. We just keep flying, keep bombing, keep dying, until one side or the other can't continue. Until victory or defeat. 3 more missions. Then my part is done. Then I can step out of the machine. Let someone else take my place. Let some other pilot climb into a B-17 and fly over Germany and roll the dice on whether he lives or dies. 3 more missions. Please God, let me survive 3 more missions. That's all I ask, all I beg for, all I pray for every moment of every day. 3 more missions, then I can go home. Then I can be human again. Then I can start trying to live with what I've seen, what I've done, what I've become. 3 more missions. Please. October 15th, 1943, morning. RAF Thorpe Abbotts, stand down today. No missions. The whole 8th Air Force is grounded. Not because of weather, because of losses. We don't have enough aircraft left. Don't have enough crews left. Yesterday's mission gutted us. 60 bombers destroyed. Hundreds more damaged. Thousands of men dead, wounded, missing. You can't sustain that level of loss. Even the generals understand that. So today we stand down. Regroup, count our losses, try to come to terms with the disaster that was yesterday. Colonel Harding called all surviving pilots together this morning. There were 11 of us, 11 pilots from the entire group. out of maybe 40 or 50 before yesterday. He looked terrible, like he'd aged 20 years overnight. His hands shook when he tried to light his cigarette. His voice kept breaking. He said the mission was a success, that we'd hit the target, that the ball-bearing factories were heavily damaged, that German war production would be impacted. He said our sacrifice was not in vain, that the men who died yesterday gave their lives for a strategic objective that would help win the war. He said we should be proud. Nobody said anything. What was there to say? 120 men from our group dead in one mission. Success? Pride? Then he said missions would continue. Weather permitting, strategic necessity. The war goes on. We have to keep flying. I wanted to scream. Wanted to stand up and tell him he's insane. Tell him you can't send men on missions like yesterday and expect them to survive. Tell him the cost is too high. Tell him we're not machines, we're human beings and we're breaking. But I didn't say anything. Just sat there like everyone else. Silent, numb. Accepting. Because what choice do we have? This is war. This is our job. We're soldiers. We follow orders. Even when those orders mean flying missions that kill 600 men in a day. After the meeting, I went to the sick bay. Morrison is there with his wounded arm. Bobby Chen with his wounded leg. Joe Martinez with his minor shrapnel wounds. Eddie Kowalski from the Bremen mission. Still recovering. They're the lucky ones. Wounded but alive. They'll heal. They'll fly again. Or maybe they won't. Maybe their wounds will be bad enough to ground them. Send them home early. Safe. Is that luck or blessing or curse? I don't know anymore. The lines are blurry. I also spent time at the chapel. The chaplain was there. He looked as shell-shocked as everyone else. How does a chaplain make sense of yesterday? How does he explain God's plan? When 120 men from his flock died in one day, he didn't try, just sat with me. We prayed together, not eloquent prayers, just simple, desperate pleas for strength, for courage, for survival. I asked him if he thought it was worth it, the cost, 600 men for one target. He didn't answer directly, just said that sometimes the right thing is also the hardest thing, that evil must be opposed even at great cost, that freedom requires sacrifice. All true, all intellectually sound, but it doesn't make it easier, doesn't bring anyone back, doesn't erase the image of Jimmy Peterson dying or Memphis Belle burning. This afternoon, new replacement aircraft are arriving, B-17Gs fresh from the factory, shiny, undamaged, ready for combat, ready to replace the 12 we lost yesterday. And new replacement crews are arriving tomorrow, 40 or 50 men, fresh from training, eager, nervous, scared, ready to take the place of the 120 who died. The machine keeps running, aircraft and men fed into it. Destroyed, replaced. The cycle continues. I'm being cynical, bitter, I know that, but I can't help it. Yesterday was too much, the losses were too severe, the cost was too high, and I have to do it 3 more times, 3 more missions like yesterday, 3 more chances to die like Mickey and Jimmy died. How? How do I find the courage to do that? How do I climb into another B-17 and fly back over Germany after what happened yesterday? I don't know, but I'll do it. Because I have to. Because I'm a pilot, a captain, a leader, my crew is counting on me. I can't let them down. But inside I'm screaming. Inside I'm terrified. Inside I'm broken and traumatized and barely holding on. 3 more missions. Then I'm done. Then I can go home and fall apart in peace. Just 3 more missions. Surely I can survive 3 more missions. The odds are in my favor now, right? Can't have 2 missions as bad as yesterday. That would be statistically impossible. Or maybe not. Maybe every mission from now on will be like yesterday. Maybe the Germans have learned how effective their tactics were. Maybe they'll replicate that success every time we fly deep into their territory. Maybe we're all going to die. Stop it. Stop thinking like that. Focus on right now. Today. This moment. Not tomorrow, not the next mission. Just today. Today I'm alive. Today I'm safe on the ground in England. Today nobody is shooting at me. Today is a gift. I should appreciate it more, should be grateful, but all I feel is dread. Dread for the next mission, dread for what's coming. 3 more missions. I can do this. I have to do this. For Sarah, for my family, For Mickey and Jimmy and all the others who didn't make it, I have to finish my tour, have to go home, have to make their sacrifice mean something by surviving. 3 more missions. Please God, help me survive 3 more missions. October 19th, 1943. Evening. RAF Thorpe Abbots, 4 days since Black Thursday, 4 days of rain and fog and miserable weather, 4 days grounded. Should be relieved. Am relieved. But also anxious. The waiting is torture, knowing another mission is coming, knowing I have to do it again. The dread just builds and builds. The nightmares are worse. Every night. Sometimes multiple times a night. I wake up gasping, heart racing, covered in sweat. The images are so vivid, so real, more real than reality sometimes. Last night I dreamed I was drowning in burning fuel, could feel the fire on my skin, smell it, taste it, woke up choking, thrashing in my bunk. Morrison had to shake me awake, pull me back to reality. He's worried about me, I can see it. The way he watches me, the careful way he talks to me, like I might break at any moment. Maybe I will. Maybe I'm closer to breaking than I think. Lieutenant Peterson broke after 15 missions. I'm at 22. How much longer before I reach my limit? But I can't break. Not yet. 3 more missions. Just 3 more. Then I'm done. Then I can break as much as I want. This afternoon something happened. Lieutenant Robert Jensen committed suicide. Bobby Jensen. Not our Bobby Chen. Different Bobby. Pilot in another squadron. 24 years old. From Minnesota. 15 missions completed. 10 more to go. They found him in the latrine. He'd shot himself. Used his service 45. Put it in his mouth and pulled the trigger. I was the one who found him. Went to use the latrine and there he was. Sitting on the floor. Gun still in his hand. Most of his head gone. Blood everywhere. On the walls, on the floor, pooling around him. I can't get the image out of my mind. It's burned in there. Added to all the other horrible images. The collection is growing. An album of horrors. Every day another picture to add to it. Why did he do it? Why couldn't he wait? He only had 10 more missions. 2 weeks, maybe 3. Then he'd be done. Going home. Safe. But he couldn't wait. Couldn't endure even one more day. Whatever demons he was fighting, they won. The fear and trauma and horror became too much, and he chose to end it rather than continue. I understand. God help me, I understand. There's a certain logic to it. If you're going to die anyway, if the odds are against you surviving your tour, why not choose how you die? Why not take control of that one thing? No. That's insane. That's the trauma talking. That's the exhaustion and fear warping my thoughts. Suicide isn't the answer. It's never the answer. Bobby Jensen should have talked to someone, should have gone to the chaplain, the flight surgeon, anyone. Should have asked for help. But maybe he did. Maybe he tried. Maybe nobody listened, or nobody understood, or nobody could help. And so he made a choice. A final, permanent, terrible choice. They're not telling anyone officially. Covering it up, saying it was an accident. Cleaning the gun, went off accidentally. That's the story. That's what will go in the report. Because if they admit a pilot committed suicide, it might spread. Others might think about it. Consider it. Follow his example. Can't have that. Can't have an epidemic of suicide among combat crews, so it's covered up. Accident, tragic. Nobody's fault. But I know. I was there. I saw him. Saw what he did. And I'll carry that image forever, just like I carry all the others. The weather is supposed to clear tomorrow. Briefing at 0300. Mission likely. Back into Germany. Back into the hell. Mission 23. 2 more after that. Just 2. I'm so close to the end. So close to freedom. But those final missions are supposed to be the hardest. Everyone says so. The tension, the fear, the desperate hope that you'll make it. All of that makes the final missions worse than the early ones. The early missions, you're too green to fully understand the danger. By the middle missions, you're experienced, confident, functioning on training and adrenaline. But the final missions, when you can see the end, when you can taste freedom, that's when the fear becomes overwhelming. Because now you have something concrete to lose. Now you can imagine the future you're fighting for, can see it clearly. The wedding, the children, the normal life, and the thought of dying now, so close to achieving it, is unbearable. Better not to hope at all, better to stay numb, better to not think about the future. But I can't help it. Can't help imagining Sarah walking down the aisle. Can't help seeing the house we'll buy, the children we'll have. Can't help dreaming about a life without war, and that makes the fear worse. Makes every mission more terrifying. Because I'm not just risking my life. I'm risking that entire imagined future. I spent an hour this afternoon just walking around the base, past the empty hard stands where aircraft used to be parked, past the Nissan huts that are now half empty because the men who lived there are dead. The base feels like a ghost town, so many missing, so many gone. The replacements arrive, but they don't fill the void. They're strangers, new faces, not the friends we lost. I miss Davy Sullivan, miss Mickey Brennan, miss Jimmy Peterson, miss all of them, the guys I trained with, flew with, laughed with. Most of them are gone now, dead or captured, and I'm still here. Why? What makes me so special? What makes me deserve to survive when they didn't? No answer. There's never an answer. It's just chance. Random luck. Nothing more. But the guilt is crushing. Survivor's guilt. The chaplain says it's normal, that all combat veterans feel it. But knowing it's normal doesn't make it hurt less. I should have died on Black Thursday. By all logic, by all probability, Memphis Belle should have gone down with all the others. We took over 300 hulls, lost 2 engines, had multiple crew members wounded. We should have died. But we didn't. We made it home. And now I have to live with that. Live with the knowledge that I survived when 600 others didn't. 2 more missions after tomorrow, just 2. Then I can go home and spend the rest of my life trying to justify my survival, trying to make their deaths mean something, trying to be worthy of the life they gave me. 2 more missions. Please, God, please let me survive 2 more missions. I'm going to try to sleep now, even though I know the nightmares will come, even though I'll probably wake up screaming again, even though tomorrow might be the day my luck finally runs out. 2 more missions after tomorrow. Then I'm done. Then I get to live with what I've seen, what I've done, what I've become. 2 more missions, please. October 20th, 1943. 0400 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots, briefing in 30 minutes. Can't sleep, so I'm writing. The dread is overwhelming tonight, worse than before Schweinfurt even. My whole body is tense, heart racing, mouth dry, hands shaking. This is mission 23. 2 more after this. Getting so close to the end. Close enough that I can almost believe I might make it. But that makes it worse. The hope makes the fear worse. Because now I have something to lose. Now I can imagine surviving. And the thought of dying now, so close, is unbearable. I keep thinking about Bobby Jensen. About his choice. About how he looked, sitting there in the latrine with half his head gone. Would it be better to just end it now, on my own terms? Choose when and how I die instead of letting some German pilot or flak battery make that choice for me? No. That's insane. That's trauma and exhaustion talking. I have to survive. Have to make it home. For Sarah, for my family. For all the men who died so I could live. But the fear is so strong, so overwhelming. It's physical. Like a weight pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe, hard to think. I'm afraid I'm going to break today. Going to crack during the mission, freeze up, make a mistake, get everyone killed. No. I can do this. I've done it 22 times before. I can do it one more time. Just one more. Then only 2 left. Then I'm done. Focus on the procedure, the mechanics, the training. Don't think about dying. Don't think about what can go wrong. Just focus on the job. 1 step at a time. Pre-flight check. Engine start, taxi, takeoff, assembly, navigation, into combat. Do the job. Come home. That's all. Simple. Mechanical. No emotion required. I can do this. I have to do this. The new crew is settling in. Billy Harper, the replacement ball turret gunner who took Mickey's place. Mike O'Brien, replacement waist gunner who took Jimmy Peterson's place. Both 19 years old, both terrified but trying to hide it. They look to me for confidence, for leadership. They need to believe I'm in control, that I know what I'm doing, that I'll bring them home. I can't let them see how terrified I am. Can't let them know I'm barely holding together. have to wear the mask, have to be Captain Holloway, experienced pilot, competent leader. Even though inside I'm Jim, 24 years old, scared out of my mind, wondering if today is the day I die. Morrison is up. I can hear him moving around in the dark. He's as scared as I am, but he hides it better. Always calm, always professional. Good man, good co-pilot. I trust him with my life, have trusted him with my life 22 times now. One more time today. Then twice more after that. Then we're both done, both going home, both survivors. If we survive. If today isn't the day, if the next mission isn't the day, if we can just make it 2 more times. I need to stop writing and get ready. Time for briefing. Time to find out where we're going. Time to prepare to do this 1 more time. Mission 23, 2 more after this. So close to the end. Please, God, please let me survive today. Please bring me home. Just 2 more after this. That's all. Just 2 more, please. October 20th, 1943, 2200 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbotts, Mission 23 complete. I'm alive. The crew is alive, we all made it back. The target was Düren. Industrial targets in Western Germany. Not as deep a penetration as Schweinfurt. Better fighter escort. Still dangerous but manageable. Moderate flak. Some fighter opposition. We took a few hits but nothing serious. No casualties. No major damage. Just another mission. Just another mission. That's what it was. Routine, almost. Compared to Black Thursday, compared to Münster, today was practically easy. But I barely remember it. The whole mission is a blur. I functioned, but I wasn't really there. Like I was on autopilot. My body flew the aircraft, but my mind was somewhere else. Disconnected, dissociated. The crew noticed. After we landed, Morrison asked if I was okay. I said yes, but I could see in his eyes he didn't believe me. I'm not okay. I know I'm not okay. Something is wrong with me. Something broke on Black Thursday, and it hasn't healed. Maybe it never will. I went through all the motions today. Pre-flight, takeoff, navigation, combat, landing. Did everything by the book, made all the right decisions. Brought everyone home safe. But I don't remember most of it. It's like the mission happened to someone else, and I just watched from a distance. Is this what breaking looks like? Is this how it starts? Dissociation, numbness, going through the motions without really being present? Maybe. I don't know. Never broken before. Don't know what it feels like. But I can't break. Not yet. 2 more missions. Just 2. Then I can break as much as I want. Then it won't matter. 2 more missions. I can hold together for 2 more missions. I have to. The officers' club is quiet tonight. Only a handful of pilots there. Everyone drinking, but nobody talking much. We're all exhausted. All traumatized. All just trying to make it through 1 more day. Tom Hayes is passed out at his usual table. Drinks himself unconscious every night now. Started after Münster, got worse after Schweinfurt. He's barely functional anymore. Surprised they haven't grounded him. Bobby Chen is writing letters. Always writing letters. To his family, to his girl in San Francisco. Staying connected to home. Smart. Probably healthier than drinking or dissociating. Morrison is playing cards with some of the new replacement pilots. Teaching them. Mentoring them. Trying to give them the knowledge that might keep them alive. I should join them. Should be social. Should act normal. But I can't. Can't pretend everything is fine. Can't make small talk. Can't act like today was just another day. So I came back here to write instead. Trying to process, trying to figure out what's happening to me. I think I'm shutting down. Emotionally, mentally, my mind is protecting itself by refusing to feel, by disconnecting from reality, by going numb. It's a survival mechanism. I understand that logically. The mind can only handle so much trauma before it starts to protect itself. And numbness is one way to do that. But it's frightening, not feeling anything, going through the motions like a machine. Being present in my body but absent from my mind. Is this permanent? Will I ever feel normal again? Or is this who I am now? This numb, dissociated, broken thing wearing Captain James Holloway's face? I don't know. Can't know until this is over. Until I've completed my tour and gone home and had time to heal, if healing is even possible. 2 more missions. Then I'll find out. Then I'll learn what's left of me. Whether James Holloway from Cedar Rapids still exists underneath all this trauma and fear and numbness, I should sleep. Tomorrow might be another flying day. 2 more missions. Have to be ready, have to be functional, even if I'm not really there, even if I'm just a ghost piloting an aircraft. As long as I can do the job, as long as I can bring the crew home, that's enough. 2 more missions, then I'm done. Then I can start figuring out how to be human again. 2 more missions. I can do this. I have to do this. Even if I don't remember doing it. Even if I'm not really there, I'll do it. Because that's what's required. 2 more missions. Then I'm free. October 23rd, 1943. Afternoon. RAF Thorpe Abbots. 3 days grounded. Weather again. Should be used to it by now, but the waiting never gets easier. I've been spending a lot of time alone. Can't handle being around people. Can't handle conversation. Just want to be left alone with my thoughts. Except my thoughts aren't good company either. They just circle endlessly. Fear, guilt, trauma, memories of death. Round and round. No escape. This morning I hit a breaking point. Woke up and couldn't get out of bed. Physically couldn't make myself move. Just lay there staring at the ceiling, completely paralyzed by dread. Morrison had to shake me, pull me up, force me to function. He's worried. I can see it. But he doesn't know what to do. None of us do. We're all broken in our own ways. All traumatized. All barely holding on. And there's no help, no support system, no therapy. Just expected to keep flying until we complete our tour or die trying. This afternoon I did something I've been avoiding. I went to talk to the chaplain. Really talk. Not just polite conversation. Real, honest discussion about what I'm feeling. He listened. Didn't judge. Didn't offer platitudes. Just listened. While I spilled everything. The fear, the nightmares, the dissociation, the guilt, the growing certainty that I'm not going to survive the next 2 missions. And then he said something that actually helped. He said it's okay to be afraid. That fear doesn't make me a coward. That continuing to fly even when terrified is the definition of courage. He said I don't have to be strong all the time. Don't have to pretend I'm okay. That admitting vulnerability is its own kind of strength. He said God doesn't expect me to carry this burden alone. That I can share it. With my crew, with him, with God. That I'm not alone even when I feel alone. I don't know if I believe all of that, but it helped. Just talking about it helped. Getting it out. Admitting how broken I feel. Stopping, pretending I'm fine when I'm not. After I left the chaplain, I went to the cemetery. The little one on base where they bury the men who die here in England. Not the ones who die over Germany, just the ones who die here. Mickey Brennan is buried there. Brought his body back from Münster. Buried him with military honors. 20 years old. Dead for his country. I stood at his grave for a long time. Didn't pray. Didn't cry. Just stood there, thinking about him. About his girl, Rita, in Boston. About the life he should have had. And I made him a promise. Promised I'd finish my tour. Promised I'd go home. Promised I'd live well. Promised his death wouldn't be meaningless because I'd make my survival count for something. I don't know if he heard me. Don't know if dead people can hear anything. But it felt important to say it out loud. To make the promise concrete. I also spent time reading my mother's Bible. The Psalms mostly. Finding comfort in the familiar words. In the prayers of people who've suffered before me. Who faced death and fear and found strength to carry on. Psalm 23 keeps coming back to me. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I am walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Have been for months, but am I fearing evil? Yes, constantly. Every moment. The fear never stops, but the psalm says, for thou art with me. Maybe that's the key. Not that I shouldn't be afraid, but that I'm not alone in my fear. That God is there, even in the valley, even in the shadow. I want to believe that. Want to believe I'm not alone. That there's some greater purpose to all this suffering. That Mickey and Jimmy and Davy and all the others died for something meaningful. I have to believe that, because if I don't, if I accept that their deaths were random and meaningless, then what's the point of any of this? Why keep fighting? Why keep flying? So I choose to believe. Even when it's hard, even when the evidence suggests otherwise, I choose faith over despair, purpose over meaninglessness, hope over resignation. 2 more missions. That's my immediate goal, my concrete, achievable target. Complete 2 more missions. Then go home. Then live a life that honors the dead, that makes their sacrifice meaningful. I can do that. I can survive 2 more missions. The odds are actually in my favor now. Statistically, we've had 1 catastrophic mission. Lightning doesn't strike twice, right? The next 2 should be more routine. Or maybe not. Maybe every mission from now until the end of the war will be like Black Thursday. Maybe the Germans have found the perfect tactics and will replicate that success every time. Stop it. Stop thinking like that. Focus on what you can control. Your actions, your decisions, your preparation. Tomorrow weather might clear. Tomorrow might be mission 24. 1 more after that. Just 1. I can do this. I will do this. For Mickey, for Jimmy, for Davy, for Sarah, for my family, for everyone counting on me. I will survive. I will complete my tour. I will go home. And then I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of that gift. 2 more missions. I can do this. October 25th, 1943, 03:45 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbotts. Briefing in 15 minutes. Mission 24. 1 more after this. Just 1. I slept better last night. Not well, but better. The talk with the chaplain helped. The time at Mickey's grave helped. Reading the Bible helped. Something shifted. Not fixed, but shifted. I'm still afraid, still traumatized, still barely holding together, but I've found something. Not quite hope, but something like it. Determination, maybe. Resolve. I'm going to complete my tour. I'm going to survive. Not because I'm special or lucky or blessed, but because I'm going to choose to survive, going to fight for it with everything I have. 2 missions left, including today. Just 2. I've done 23 already. 2 more is nothing. I can do this. The crew is ready. Morrison's arm has healed enough to fly. Bobby Chen is off crutches, limping but functional. Billy Harper and Mike O'Brien, the replacements, have completed 1 mission now. They're still green, but less terrified than before. That first mission strips away the innocence. After that, you know what you're facing. Better or worse, depending on your perspective. My hands are steady this morning. That's a good sign. Not shaking, not sweating, just calm, ready. I don't know what today will bring, what target they'll brief, what opposition we'll face, but I'm ready for it. Whatever it is, I'll handle it. I'll do my job. I'll bring my crew home, and then I'll have 1 mission left, just 1. And I'll do that too, and then I'll be done. I'll have survived, beaten the odds, completed what statistically should have been impossible. 25 missions. From August to October, 3 months of flying over Germany, 3 months of flak and fighters in fear, 3 months of watching friends die. But I'm still here, still alive, still fighting, and I'm going to stay alive. Going to finish this. Going to go home. The sun isn't up yet. Still, dark outside, but I can hear the base coming alive, engines starting, men moving, the machine of war preparing for another day. In a few hours I'll be at 25,000 feet over Germany. Cold, scared, focused, doing what I've been trained to do, what I've done 23 times before. And I'll come home. I know it. Feel it. I'm going to come home today. And then 1 more time. And then I'm done. 1 more mission after today. Just 1. Then I get my life back. Then I get Sarah. Then I get Iowa and peace and normalcy. 1 more after today. I can do this. I will do this. Time to go. Time to fly. Time to survive. October 25th, 1943. 2000 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbotts. Mission 24 complete. 1 more. Just 1 more mission and I'm done. Wilhelmshaven. That was the target. Submarine pens on the German coast. Not as deep as Schweinfurt. Better fighter escort. Moderate opposition. And it went well. As well as these things can go. Good formation flying. Accurate bombing. Fighter escort stayed with us most of the way. The flak was heavy over the target, but we timed it well, got in and out quickly. No casualties. Some damage, but nothing serious. Everyone came home. The aircraft came home. A successful mission. And more than that, I was present for this one. Not dissociated, not numb. Actually there. Actually functioning as a real person instead of a ghost. Maybe it was the breakthrough yesterday. The talk with the chaplain. The promise I made at Mickey's grave. Something changed. Not healed, but changed. Improved. I'm still scared. Still traumatized. But I'm functioning again. Present. Engaged. Captain Holloway, instead of just a hollow shell wearing his name. The crew noticed. Morrison commented on it after we landed. Said, I seem more myself. More focused. Good to have me back, he said. I didn't know I'd been gone, but I guess I had been. Lost in trauma and fear and dissociation. But I'm back now, for however long back lasts. One more mission, that's all, just one. And then I'm done. Then I complete my tour, then I go home a survivor. The thought fills me with hope, real hope. Not just desperate optimism, actual belief that I'm going to make it, that I'm going to survive. That in a few days I'll be on a ship heading home to Sarah. The Officers Club is busier tonight, more people celebrating. Mission 24 is a big one for me, one away from completion. Some of the guys bought me drinks, toasted my survival, my almost completion. It felt good, felt normal. Like before the war, like being a regular person instead of a traumatized combat veteran. But I didn't drink much. One beer, that's all. Want to stay sharp. Want to be ready for the final mission. Can't afford to let my guard down now. Not when I'm so close. Bobby Chen finished his tour today too. 25 missions complete. He's going home. Shipping out next week. I'm happy for him. Relieved. He made it. Survived. Beat the odds. We talked for a long time tonight. About the missions we flew. The things we saw. The friends we lost. The fear we carried every day. The guilt of surviving when so many didn't. He said he doesn't know how to go home. How to face normal life after this. How to explain to people what we went through. How to live with the memories. I don't have answers. Don't know how to do it either. But we'll figure it out. We survived the war. We'll survive the peace. Somehow. One more mission. Tomorrow maybe, or the next day. Depends on weather, depends on targets, depends on strategic necessity. But soon. One more mission soon, and then I'm done. Then I join Bobby Chen in the ranks of those who completed their tours, those who survived. Sarah will be so happy. My parents will cry with relief. Margaret will want to hear all the sanitized stories that I'll tell her, leaving out the horror and death and trauma. And I'll start building that life I've been dreaming about. Marriage, family, the hardware store, Iowa, peace. But first, I have to survive one more mission, just one. The final one, mission 25, everyone says it's the hardest, the final mission, the last roll of the dice. So close to the end that the fear becomes overwhelming. So close to safety that the thought of dying now is unbearable. But I've changed something in myself. Found some reserve of strength I didn't know I had, probably born from desperation, from having no choice but to be strong. But it's there. I'm going to complete mission 25. Going to fly it well. Going to bring my crew home, and then I'm going to go home myself. One more mission, that's all, just one more. Then I'm free. Then the war is over for me. Then I get to live. One more mission, I can do this. I will do this. Then I'm done. October 31st, 1943, evening, RAF Thorpe Abbotts, 6 days since mission 24. 6 days of waiting for the final mission. 6 days of weather delays and operational pauses and growing anxiety. The waiting is torture. Worse than flying almost. At least when you're flying, you're doing something, taking action. When you're waiting, you're just sitting with your fear, letting it grow and grow until it's overwhelming. I want to get it over with. Want to fly mission 25 and be done. But the weather won't cooperate. Rain, fog, low clouds, day after day. No flying for anyone. So I wait and think and imagine all the things that could go wrong on the final mission. All the ways I could die right at the end, right before freedom. It's superstitious thinking, magical thinking. The final mission isn't any more dangerous than the others. Statistically, it's the same. But psychologically, it feels worse. Because now I have something concrete to lose. 24 missions completed. One left. So close, close enough to taste freedom. And the fear of losing it now, losing everything right at the end, is almost paralyzing. I've been trying to stay busy, helping train replacement crews, working on aircraft maintenance, reading, writing letters, anything to keep my mind occupied. Sarah's last letter talked about the wedding. She's picked out a date, February 14th, 1944. Valentine's Day, says it's romantic, says she wants to start our married life with a celebration of love. February 14th, that's less than 4 months away. I'll be home by then. We'll have completed my tour. We'll be safe. We'll be getting ready to marry the woman I love. If I survive Mission 25, if nothing goes wrong, if my luck holds one more time, stop it. Stop thinking like that. You've survived 24 missions. You'll survive the 25th. You're good at this. Experienced, skilled. You'll be fine. But the voice in my head that says otherwise is getting louder. The voice that says everyone's luck runs out eventually. That I've used up my allotment of miracles. That the final mission is where it all catches up to me. I hate that voice. Hate the fear. Hate this waiting. Hate being so close to the end but not there yet. Other pilots who've completed their tours say the same thing, that the final mission is psychological torture, that the waiting before it is worse than the mission itself, that you just have to push through, complete it, get it over with. Easy to say, harder to do when you're living it. Morrison keeps checking on me, making sure I'm okay. He has 3 missions left. Will complete his tour a week or so after I complete mine. He's nervous too, but handling it better than me. Or hiding it better, hard to tell. The new replacement crews keep arriving, fresh faces, young men, eager, scared, trying to look confident. I see myself in them, see who I was 8 months ago when I first arrived. Innocent, naive, not understanding what was coming. They'll learn. The ones who survive will learn, will become like us, traumatized, weary, barely holding together, but functional, still flying, still doing the job. That's what this war does. Takes young men and breaks them down and rebuilds them into something harder, something capable of doing terrible things, capable of surviving terrible things. Is that growth, maturity, or just damage? I don't know, maybe both. All I know is I'm not the same person who left Iowa in 1942. That kid is gone, dead, replaced by this traumatized, exhausted, hollowed out thing wearing his face. Will Sarah recognize me? Will my family? Will I be able to pretend to be normal, to fit back into civilian life? To be Jim Holloway from Cedar Rapids instead of Captain Holloway, bomber pilot, survivor? I don't know. Won't know until I try. But first, I have to get there. Have to survive one more mission. Have to complete my tour. One more mission. Then I find out who I am now, what's left of me, whether recovery is possible or if this is permanent. One more mission. Then I start trying to build a life on top of ruins. Please let the weather clear. Please let me fly. Please let me finish this. I can't take much more waiting. Can't handle much more anticipation. Need to just do it and be done. One more mission. Please, God, please let me complete one more mission. That's all I ask. Just one more. Then I'll take whatever comes after. Deal with whatever damage has been done. Just let me survive one more mission. One more. Then I'm free. Then I'm done. Then I get to go home. Please. November 1st, 1943. 0330 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots. This is it. Briefing in 30 minutes. The weather cleared overnight. Mission 25. The final mission. My last flight over Germany. I can't believe this day has finally come. After months of waiting, of flying, of surviving, of watching friends die, I'm finally here. The end. The completion of my tour. I'm terrified. More terrified than I've ever been. My heart is racing. My hands are shaking. My stomach is in knots. The fear is physical, overwhelming, all-consuming, because I'm so close to surviving, to going home, to having the life I've just dreamed about, and the thought of dying now on the final mission is unbearable. What if today is the day? What if I've survived 24 missions only to die on the 25th? What if I never see Sarah again, never marry her, never have the life we planned? Stop thinking like that. You're going to survive. You're going to complete this mission. You're going to go home. just like you completed the previous 24. This one is no different, except it is different. It's the last one, the final roll of the dice, the ultimate test of whether I've beaten the odds or if they finally catch up to me. I've written letters, just in case. To Sarah, to my parents, to Margaret, final letters, the kind you write when you think you might die, given them to the chaplain. He'll mail them if I don't come back, but I am coming back. I have to. I've made it this far. Survived Black Thursday, survived Münster, survived 24 missions of flak and fighters and fear. One more won't kill me. Will it? I'm praying constantly. Every breath is a prayer. Please, God, please let me survive today. Please bring me home. Please give me the future I've been fighting for. The crew is ready. They're nervous too, not just for themselves but for me. They know how much this mission means. 25. Completion, freedom. Morrison shook my hand last night, said, "Let's bring you home, Captain." Like it's a team effort, which it is. We all have to work together, all have to survive together. Billy Harper and Mike O'Brien, the replacement gunners, they've been solid. 4 missions now. They've learned, adapted, become part of the crew. They're not replacements anymore. They're just crew. Tony Rizzo in the tail is superstitious, doing all his rituals. Lucky coin, lucky socks, touching the aircraft 3 times before boarding. Whatever works. Whatever gets us through. The briefing will reveal our target. Could be anywhere. Deep into Germany. Or a coastal target. Easy or hard. Milk Run or another Black Thursday. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'll fly it. I'll do my job. I'll bring everyone home, including myself. This is the last time I'll write a pre-mission entry. The last time I'll sit here in the dark, writing by candlelight, trying to calm my nerves before climbing into a B-17. After today, this is over. After today, I'm done with combat, done with war, done with watching people die. After today, I get to live, really live. Not just survive, but live, with Sarah, with my family, in peace. I just have to survive today, just this one final mission. Then everything I've been fighting for is mine. Please, God, please, this is it. The final test, the last mission. Please bring me home. Please let me survive. Please give me the life I've earned through 24 missions of hell. Please. I can hear movement outside. Time to go. Time for briefing. Time to find out where I'm flying for the final time. Mission 25, the end. Freedom. Home. If I survive, I will survive. I have to survive. Too much depends on it. Too many people counting on me. Too much life waiting for me on the other side. I will survive today. I will complete mission 25. I will go home. This is my last entry before the mission. Next time I write, it will be over. I'll be done. I'll have survived. I'll have beaten the odds. I'll have made it. Next time I write, I'll be free. Please, God, please let there be a next time. Please let me survive to write that entry. Please. Time to go. November 1st, 1943. 2100 hours. RAF Thorpe Abbots. I made it. I'm alive. Mission 25 is complete. My tour is done. I'm going home. I can barely believe it, can barely process it. After everything. After all the fear and death and trauma. After Black Thursday and Münster and 23 other missions. After watching friends die. After nearly dying myself so many times. I made it. I survived. I beat the odds. The target, it was Wilhelmshaven. Same as Mission 24. Submarine pens on the coast. Not a deep penetration. Good fighter escort. Moderate opposition. A relatively easy mission. As easy as any mission over Germany can be. Like the universe decided to give me a gift. A final mission that didn't try to kill me quite as hard as the others. The briefing this morning. When they revealed Wilhelmshaven, I almost cried with relief. Not Schweinfurt, not Berlin, not some deep target hundreds of miles into Germany, just the coast, a shorter mission, better chances. The flight itself felt surreal, like a dream. I kept waiting for something to go wrong, for fighters to swarm us, for flak to tear us apart, for my luck to finally run out. But it didn't. We flew the mission, bombed the target, took some flak but nothing serious. A few fighter passes, but the escorts drove them off. Minor damage to the aircraft, no casualties. Everyone came home. The whole crew, all of us, alive. Landing was the most emotional moment of my life. Touching down, rolling to a stop, shutting down the engines, realizing it was over. Really over. No more missions. No more flying over Germany. No more combat. Done. I climbed out of the aircraft and kissed the ground. Actually kissed it. Didn't care who saw. Didn't care how foolish it looked. I was alive. I had survived. I had completed my tour. 25 missions. From August to November. 3 months that felt like 3 years. 3 months that aged me a lifetime. 3 months of hell that I somehow survived. The crew was celebrating, shaking my hand, hugging me, congratulating me. They're happy for me. Happy I made it. Even though most of them still have missions left to fly. Morrison has 3 left. He'll be fine. He's skilled, experienced, lucky. He'll make it too. But I'm done. I don't have to fly anymore. Don't have to climb into a B-17. Don't have to face flak and fighters. Don't have to risk my life. I'm done. Colonel Harding congratulated me personally, shook my hand, said I'd done well, said I'd served with honor, said I should be proud. Am I proud? I don't know. I'm relieved, grateful, exhausted. But proud? I'm not sure. I survived when so many didn't. Is that something to be proud of, or is it just luck? Mickey Brennan didn't make it to 25 missions. Jimmy Peterson didn't. Davy Sullivan didn't. 120 men from my group died on Black Thursday alone. Hundreds more over the 3 months I was here. Why did I survive when they didn't? What makes me special? Nothing. Nothing at all. Just chance. Random luck. The round that missed instead of hit. The fighter that targeted someone else's aircraft. Pure arbitrary chance. And now I get to go home. Get to marry Sarah. Get to have children. Get to live a full life. While they're dead, buried in England or Germany or lost forever in the North Sea. The guilt is overwhelming. Relief mixed with grief. Joy mixed with sorrow. I'm happy to be alive but devastated by the cost. By how many had to die so that I could live. But I can't change it. Can't bring them back. Can only honor them by living well. By making my survival count for something. By remembering them. By telling their stories. By never forgetting what they sacrificed. The Officers Club is packed tonight. Everyone's celebrating. Not just my completion, but the fact that missions are continuing, that the war goes on, that we're still fighting. I had a few drinks. Let myself relax for the first time in months. Let the tension drain away. Let myself believe I'm actually safe now. That I don't have to fly tomorrow. That I'm done. Tom Hayes bought me a drink. Said he was happy for me. But I could see the envy in his eyes. He still has 8 missions left, 8 more times risking death. While I'm done, going home, safe. I don't know what to say to him, to any of them, the ones still flying. What comfort can I offer? I survived and you still have to risk dying. There's no comfort in that. Just the brutal arithmetic of war. I'm shipping out in a few days, back to London, then on a transport ship across the Atlantic, home to America, to Iowa, to Sarah, to my family, to peace. It feels impossible, like a dream that I'll wake up from. Like I'm still in my bunk and this is all a fantasy my traumatized mind created, but it's real. I'm really done, really going home, really survived. 25 missions, 200 plus combat hours, 3 aircraft, 2 crew members killed, countless holes in fuselages, more flak and fighters than I can count, and 1 pilot going home. I made it. Against all odds. Against all probability. I made it. Now I have to figure out how to live with that. How to be James Holloway from Cedar Rapids again. How to have a normal life after this. How to love Sarah and raise children and run a hardware store and pretend everything is fine when everything is not fine. When I'm damaged and traumatized and carrying ghosts. When I see Mickey and Jimmy and Davy every time I close my eyes. When the sound of an engine backfiring makes me think of flak. When I can't sleep without nightmares. How do I live with that? How do I function? How do I be normal? I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I survived the war. I'll survive the peace. Somehow. For now, for tonight, I'm just grateful. Grateful to be alive. Grateful to have survived. Grateful for the chance to go home. Grateful for Sarah and my family and the future I get to have. Tomorrow I'll start processing the trauma. Start dealing with the grief and guilt and fear. Start the long journey of healing, if healing is even possible. But tonight, I'm just grateful and exhausted and done. 25 missions complete. Tour complete. Captain James Holloway, done with combat. I'm going home. November 2nd, 1943. Afternoon. RAF Thorpe Abbotts. My last full day at Thorpe Abbotts. Tomorrow I leave for London. Begin the journey home. Spent the morning packing my belongings. Not much to pack. A few changes of clothes. My mother's Bible. Letters from Sarah. This diary. A lifetime compressed into one duffel bag. Saying goodbye to the crew was hard. Harder than I expected. These men. Morrison, Hayes, Martinez, Rizzo, the others. We've been through hell together. Survived together. Lost friends together. Formed bonds that can never be broken. Morrison walked with me around the base. We didn't talk much. Just walked. Remembering. Processing. He has 3 missions left. I told him he'd make it. Told him he's too skilled, too good, too lucky to not make it. He nodded. But we both know that's not how it works. Skill helps, but luck is what really matters. And luck runs out sometimes. Randomly, arbitrarily. But I have to believe he'll make it. Have to believe something good can come from all this death and destruction. I visited the cemetery one last time. Mickey Brennan's grave. Jimmy Peterson is buried there too. They recovered his body from Memphis Belle after the fire. Davy Sullivan isn't there. He's either in Germany or a POW camp. I hope he's alive. Hope he's just captured. Hope someday he'll come home. I stood there for a long time. At their graves. Thinking about them. About who they were. About the lives they should have had. I made them a promise. Promised I'd live well. Promised I'd make my survival mean something. Promised I'd never forget them. I don't know if they heard. Don't know if the dead can hear anything, but it felt important to say it, to make that promise concrete. Then I walked around the base, past the hard stands where aircraft are parked, past the briefing room where I learned about so many missions, past the officers' club where we tried to forget, past everything that's been my life for 3 months. This place broke me, changed me, turned me from a kid from Iowa into whatever I am now, scarred, traumatized, but alive. Still alive. I won't miss it. Won't miss the fear or the missions or the death, but I'll remember it. Remember what happened here. Remember what it cost. Remember the men who didn't make it home. Tom Hayes is drunk again. Started drinking at lunch and hasn't stopped. He came to say goodbye, slurred his words, said he was happy for me, said he wished he was going home too. I tried to encourage him. 8 missions left. He can make it. But he shook his head. Said he's not going to make it. Said he can feel it. Said his luck has run out. I told him not to talk like that. Told him he has to believe he'll survive. Have to have faith. Have to stay strong. But he just laughed, a hollow, bitter laugh, and walked away. I'm worried about him, about all of them. The ones still flying. How many more will die? How many more missions before the war ends? How much more death before victory? I don't have answers. Nobody does. We just keep fighting, keep bombing, keep dying. Until one side or the other surrenders. Colonel Harding thanked me for my service, said I was a credit to the group, said he was proud to have had me under his command. Formal words, official words, but sincere. He looked so tired, so worn down. The weight of command, of sending men to die, of writing condolence letters to families, of watching his group get decimated mission after mission. I don't envy him. Don't envy anyone who has to keep doing this. I'm getting out, going home, but they have to stay, have to keep flying, have to keep losing men until the war ends, however long that takes. The new replacement crews are still arriving. Fresh faces, young men. They look at me with something like awe. 25 missions. A survivor. Someone who beat the odds. They ask questions. Want advice. Want to know the secret to surviving. And I don't know what to tell them. There is no secret. Just luck. Just random chance. Just flying your missions and praying you don't die. Some of them will make it. Most won't. That's just statistics. cold, hard, brutal statistics. But I can't tell them that. Can't destroy their hope. So I give them practical advice. How to maintain formation, how to read flak patterns, how to watch for fighters, little things that might help, might increase their odds by a fraction. It's all I can do. All anyone can do. This afternoon I wrote one last letter to Sarah, told her I'm coming home, told her my tour is complete, told her I'll be there in time for our wedding. February 14th, Valentine's Day, the start of our life together. I can't wait. Can't wait to see her, to hold her, to be with her, to start building the future we've been dreaming about. But I'm also terrified. Terrified she won't recognize me. Terrified I've changed too much. Terrified I won't be able to be the man she fell in love with. Terrified the trauma is too deep, the damage too severe, the scars too permanent. What if I can't be a good husband? Can't be a good father someday? Can't function in normal society? What if the war broke me beyond repair? I don't know. Won't know until I try. But the fear is there, underneath the relief and gratitude. The fear that I've lost something essential, some core part of myself that can never be recovered. But I have to try, have to go home, have to build a life, have to make Mickey and Jimmy's deaths mean something by living well. Have to. Tomorrow I leave. Tomorrow this chapter ends. Tomorrow I begin the journey home. 25 missions, 3 months, a lifetime of trauma compressed into 90 days, and somehow, impossibly, miraculously, I survived. I'm going home, to Sarah, to Iowa, to peace, to life. I survived. Against all odds, against all probability, I survived. And now I have to learn how to live with that. November 8th, 1943. At sea, Atlantic Ocean. 5 days since I left Thorpe Abbotts. Currently aboard a transport ship crossing the Atlantic, heading west, toward home. The ocean is peaceful, gray and endless. The ship rocks gently. The sound of waves is soothing, such a contrast to the roar of engines, the crump of flak, the chatter of machine guns. Peaceful, quiet, safe. I sleep better here, still have nightmares but fewer. The motion of the ship is calming somehow, rocking like a cradle, like being held. Safe. There are maybe 100 other men on the ship, all going home, all survivors, tours complete, missions done. We don't talk much. Everyone's dealing with their own trauma, their own grief, their own ghost, but there's a quiet camaraderie, an unspoken understanding. We made it. We survived. We're going home. And that's enough. I've been thinking a lot about the past 3 months, about everything that happened, about the men who died, about the missions, about the fear, trying to make sense of it, trying to understand what it all means. The strategic bombing campaign, was it worth it? Did it accomplish anything that justifies the cost? I don't know. The ball-bearing factories at Schweinfurt were heavily damaged. German war production was disrupted. But at what price? 600 men in one day, thousands more over months of missions. Was it worth it? I can't answer that. The generals will say yes. The historians will debate it. But for the men who died, for their families, for those of us who survived but carry the scars, the answer is more complicated. The war against the Nazis is just, necessary. Hitler has to be stopped. The death camps have to be ended. Europe has to be liberated. I believe that. Believed it then, believe it now. But the cost, dear God, the cost. So many young men dead, so many futures erased, so many families destroyed. And for what? Strategic objectives, industrial targets, abstract military goals, necessary but brutal. And the brutality leaves marks on the survivors, on the families, on history itself. I don't regret my service, don't regret flying, don't regret doing my part to defeat fascism. But I do grieve. Grieve for what was lost, for who I was before, for the innocence that can never be recovered. War changes you, hardens you, traumatizes you, turns you into something different. Something that can kill and watch death and keep functioning, something that normal society doesn't quite know what to do with. And now I have to go home, have to reintegrate into that normal society, have to pretend I'm fine when I'm not, have to smile and be grateful and move on. When inside I'm still broken, still traumatized, still carrying ghosts. How do I do that? How do any of us do that? The veterans coming home from this war were all damaged, all changed. How do we fit back into a world that didn't experience what we experienced, that can't understand what we went through? I don't have answers. I'll figure it out as I go, one day at a time, with Sarah's help, with my family's support, with faith and determination and stubborn refusal to let the war win by destroying me even after I survived it. I've been reading more in my mother's Bible, finding comfort in the familiar words, Psalm 23, Psalm 91, the Beatitudes, Jesus' teachings about love and forgiveness and peace. Peace. That's what I'm heading toward. Peace. After 3 months of war. After 25 missions of violence and death. Peace. I'm not sure I remember what peace feels like. Not sure I remember what it's like to not be afraid. To not be waiting for the next mission. To not be watching the sky for fighters or listening for flak. But I'll learn. I'll remember. I'll reclaim that peace. Slowly, painfully, one day at a time. Iowa is waiting. Sarah is waiting. My family is waiting. A future is waiting. A life without war, without fear, without death. A life I've earned. A life I've fought for. A life I've survived for. Just have to make it across this ocean. Then home. Then the beginning of whatever comes next. The water stretches endlessly, gray and peaceful. I stand at the rail and watch it. Watch America getting closer. Watch Europe fading behind, leaving the war behind. Physically, emotionally. Will take longer, maybe forever. But physically, it's over. I'm going home. I survived. 25 missions, 3 months over Germany, countless hours in combat, and I survived. Mickey Brennan didn't. Jimmy Peterson didn't. Davy Sullivan probably didn't. 120 men from my group on Black Thursday alone. Hundreds more over the months, thousands across the entire 8th Air Force. They didn't survive, but I did, and I owe it to them to live well, to make my survival matter, to honor their sacrifice by refusing to waste the life they gave me. That's my mission now. My new mission. Not bombing factories or fighting Germans, but living, really living, building a future, loving Sarah, raising children someday, being happy. That's how I honor the dead, by living the lives they never got to live, by refusing to let the trauma destroy me, by choosing hope over despair, life over death. I can do that. I will do that for them, for me, for Sarah, for everyone who believes in me. The ocean is vast, but America is getting closer. Home is getting closer. Peace is getting closer. I'm going home, finally. After everything, I'm going home. December 15th, 1943, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I've been home for a month. Married Sarah 5 days ago, December 10th. Not the planned Valentine's Day. We couldn't wait. Didn't want to wait. Life is too short. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So we got married. It was beautiful. Small ceremony. Just family and close friends. The Presbyterian church where her parents got married. Sarah in a simple white dress. Me in my dress uniform. My father as best man. Her sister as maid of honor. I cried during the vows. Couldn't help it. Wasn't crying from happiness, though I was happy. Was crying from relief. From gratitude. From the sheer impossibility of standing there, alive, whole enough to marry the woman I love, when so many didn't make it home. Sarah understood. She's a nurse. She sees men coming back from the war, sees the wounds, physical and mental. She knows I'm damaged, knows I'm struggling. But she loves me anyway, loves me enough to help me heal, loves me enough to be patient while I figure out how to be human again. The homecoming was overwhelming. My parents cried, Margaret cried. Everyone wanted to hear stories, wanted to know what combat was like, what Germany looked like, what it felt like to fly a B-17, and I couldn't tell them, couldn't find the words, couldn't make them understand. So I told sanitized stories, funny stories about Morrison falling off his bicycle, about the terrible food, about the English weather, surface stories that didn't touch the horror underneath. They wanted to hear about heroism and glory, about bravery and victory, not about fear and death and trauma, not about Mickey Brennan's head being torn off, about Jimmy Peterson bleeding out in the waist, about Davy Sullivan's aircraft exploding, about Black Thursday and 600 men dying, so I didn't tell them. Kept it inside, locked it away, put on a smile and said I was fine, said I was glad to be home, said I was ready to move on. But I'm not fine. Not really. The nightmares continue. Every night, sometimes multiple times, I wake up screaming, wake up back in the aircraft, back at 25,000 feet, back in the flak, back watching friends die. Sarah holds me, comforts me, tells me it's okay, that I'm safe, that I'm home, and slowly I come back to reality. Remember where I am. Remember the war is over for me, but the memories don't fade. The trauma doesn't heal. It's always there, just below the surface, waiting. I can't handle loud noises. My ears. A car backfiring sends me diving for cover. Fireworks on New Year's will be impossible. The sound of an airplane overhead makes my heart race, makes me look up, check the sky, even though I know they're friendly. Know they're not German fighters. The rational part of my brain knows, but the traumatized part doesn't, can't distinguish, just reacts. Fight or flight, survival instinct override. Sarah is patient. Understanding, she doesn't push, doesn't demand I be normal, just accepts me as I am. Damaged but healing, broken but trying. I started helping at my father's hardware store. Simple work. Organizing inventory. Helping customers. Normal, mundane, peaceful work. It helps. Gives me routine, structure, purpose beyond survival. But sometimes I'm in the middle of helping someone pick out nails or lumber and suddenly I'm back in the aircraft. Back in the war. Dissociating. And I have to excuse myself. Go sit in the back room until it passes. My father doesn't ask questions. Just lets me be. Lets me work through it at my own pace. I ran into Tom Hayes' mother last week. She'd received a telegram. Tom was killed on his 23rd mission, November 18th, less than 3 weeks after I left. Shot down over Germany. No survivors. Tom Hayes, who drank himself unconscious every night, who was barely holding together, who had only 3 missions left, dead. I cried when his mother told me. Cried for him, for his wasted potential, for the life he should have had, for the fact that he survived Münster and Schweinfurt and so many others only to die 3 missions short of completion. The guilt returned, stronger than ever. Why did I survive and Tom didn't? What cosmic injustice let me live and killed him? There's no answer, just the brutal randomness of war. I also learned Morrison completed his tour, survived all 25 missions, is on his way home now. That brought relief. Joy even. Morrison made it. One of the good ones survived, but Bobby Chen died, killed after completing his tour, volunteered to fly one more mission to help train replacements, was killed when his aircraft was shot down. December 1st, Bobby Chen, who taught me chess, who wrote letters to his family every day, who survived 25 missions only to die on the 26th, because he volunteered, because he wanted to help. The unfairness of it is crushing. He completed his tour, should have been safe, should have gone home, but he stayed, did one more mission, and died. I can't make sense of it, can't find meaning in it. It's just waste. Horrible, pointless waste. But I'm alive, I'm home, I'm married, I have a future, and I owe it to them to live well, to not waste the gift I've been given. The gift of survival, of life. Sarah is pregnant. Found out yesterday. We're going to have a baby. Due in August. A child. My child. New life emerging from death. When she told me I cried again. Seemed to cry a lot these days. But these were different tears. Not grief or guilt, but joy. Hope. The promise of a future. A child. A new generation. A life that will never know war, never know fear, never know what it's like to watch friends die at 25,000 feet. That's what I fought for. That future, that peace, that innocence. And now it's real. Concrete. Growing inside my wife. I'm going to be a father. Me, James Holloway, who flew over Germany, who bombed cities, who killed people, who survived when so many didn't. I'm going to be a father, and I'm terrified. What if I can't do it? What if the trauma makes me a bad parent? What if I pass this damage to my child? But Sarah says I'll be fine, says I'm strong, says I survived the war, I can certainly handle raising a child, says she believes in me, and I have to believe too, have to have faith, have to trust that somehow I'll figure it out, that somehow I'll heal enough to be the father my child deserves. This diary has been my companion through the war, through fear and death and trauma, through 25 missions over Germany, through survival, and now I'm closing it. This chapter of my life is over. The war continues. Men are still dying. The bombing campaign goes on. But my war is over. My combat days are done. I'm home. With Sarah. With my family. With a child on the way. With a future to build. The memories will stay with me forever. Mickey and Jimmy and Davy and Tom and Bobby and all the others. The 120 men lost on Black Thursday. The 600 men from that single mission. The thousands from the 8th Air Force. They're part of me now, will be forever. I'll carry them, honor them, remember them, tell their stories when I can, make sure they're not forgotten, make sure their sacrifice mattered. But I also have to live, have to move forward, have to build something beautiful from the ashes of war. I survived, against all odds, against all probability, through 25 missions over Germany, through Black Thursday, through Münster, through it all. I survived, and now I have to make that survival count. Have to live well, love well, be well for them, for me, for Sarah, for the child we're bringing into this world, for everyone who believes peace is possible, that life is worth living, that hope can survive even war. This book contains the hardest months of my life, the darkest days, the deepest fears, the greatest losses, but also the strongest friendships, the deepest faith, the will to survive. I'm closing it now, closing this chapter. The war goes on, but my war is over. My combat days are done. I'm home. I'm alive. I'm married. I'm going to be a father. And I'm going to make this life worthy of those who died so I could live it. That's my promise, my mission, my purpose now. To live well, to love deeply, to honor the dead by refusing to waste the life they gave me. I survived the war. Now I'll survive the peace. And I'll build something beautiful, something meaningful, something that makes their sacrifice matter. This is my last entry. Captain James Holloway, United States Army Air Forces, 351st Bombardment Squadron, 100th Bombardment Group. 25 missions completed. Tour complete. Going home. Building a life. Choosing hope. The war took much from me. My innocence. My peace. Part of my soul. But it didn't take everything. It didn't take my life. It didn't take my future. It didn't take my capacity to love. And that's enough. That has to be enough. I survived. And now I live. Really live. For all of us. For those who made it and those who didn't. December 15th, 1943. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Home. James Holloway. Husband. Soon to be father. Survivor. Home.